What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period. I'm your
Now,
host, Pharaoh. We're joined by.
Pharaoh,
Hold on.
Pharaoh,
Yes.
before we start,
What?
I just need you to Venmo me the money that you owe me for carrying your weight these last few podcasts. If you could take out your phone and Venmo me the money that you owe me, that would be great.
Lee, please. No, honestly, that was hilarious. Gee whiz, the way Monica. What's that girl name?
Monique.
Monica.
The way Monica.
The way Monica ate that man up, but then again, we'll get there, y'all. Hey, we're back. My name's Pharaoh. This is Lee. If you haven't seen us talk about the first 6 episodes of Love is Blind, go straight over to the first 6 episodes that we talked about of Love is Blind on our YouTube channel at the Reality Kingdom. You're here right now. Just click the girl find it.
You got it. You got it.
You got it. Definitely get into the first 6 episodes because we had a gag and we had a good time. And now we're here for this second drop. Lee, how you feel about this second drop? They was like living together, kind of.
Yeah, this phase of the show is one of my favorites because, we really get to see them actually living with each other. I have my criticisms on how short the experience is. And I think this part of the experience really shows basically how almost none of these couples should be together, because I feel like it's very clear that the real lovers here is Garrett and Taylor. Now, I would have squeezed Ashley and Tyler in that if he didn't drop the children bomb in episode 9.
Lord,
but none of these people should be marrying each other. Let's be
Lee,
real.
Come on, Lee. All love is work. Everybody has to work in America.
Love is work, but they're 2 weeks away from the altar, arguing about cheating, arguing about insurance, arguing about different lifestyle options. Like,
they're discussing. Everything don't got to be an argument. They're discussing.
Girl, I'm not saying that these people could date and eventually marry each other. Some of them know. Like Monica and Steven, that was a red flag mistake from day one. Hannah and Nick, they need to hang it up. Ashley and Tyler, it's time to hang it up. Them kids, too.
No, it's not. This is what I don't tolerate.
I'm never liked each other. They need to hang it up. Like,
I'm not tolerating slander on kids just because somebody got kids. Mean they shouldn't.
No, it's not about Tyler having kids. That's not the problem. It's the fact that he had kids, lied about them until 2 weeks before the altar, and it's calling the kids sperm babies.
That's what they were to him.
When no. We have footages and pictures and images. If you don't know the tea on Tyler, get into the tea on Tyler. We're gonna talk about it later. But Tyler got some tea on him, and
what you're not gonna do is tear down my man.
Yeah, we're not tearing him down. We're calling out what the fuck is happening. And the truth
if he said we're gonna get there, y'all put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it. I guess you're gonna go down defending him to the day you die, like a dumbass bird. This is what birds do. Pharaoh is a bird, y'all.
Birds are happy.
I've known that for
birds are happy. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Child.
The happiest of marriages
are
the ones
where
everybody
want to be a stepmama so bad. She want to be a stepmama so bad.
Nothing's wrong with being a stepmama. Now
there's nothing wrong with being a stepmama. Well, I'll be honest. Since this is a relationship show. Personally, I don't think you should enter a relationship if someone already has kids.
And I don't tolerate that.
I'm sorry. I do not think you should enter a relationship with someone who already has children. I don't think it's going to work. If you guys are leading towards marriage and I think the kids have to be grown, if anything. I can see if you're both in your 30s and your kids are 18 going off to college, I feel like that's a little different. If you have children under the age of 5 and 6 and 10, no, because you got to deal with baby mama drama, you got to deal with baby daddy drama, you got to deal with
love surpasses all of that.
No. And that's the thing. Shit like this should be discussed on the first meet, because I bet my bottom dollar Ashley wouldn't have accepted that damn proposal if she knew he already had kids. And I think that's what's so crazy is that he keep bringing up kids. He just keep talking about, oh, we have kids. We're going to do this with them. We're going to do this with them. Whole time.
We're not on Tyler. Stop. Wait. Stop it.
I'm not saying Michael Gold. I'm not saying the single parents got to stay single. I'm saying if you got kids, find somebody else with kids. I think merge the situations together. But I don't think a single person should be entering a situation that is already established. I just, especially if there's drama with the other person that they had kids with. Tyler got all type of baby mama, surrogate, whatever he want to call the drama. And Ashley, my beautiful black goddess, don't need to go through that.
Let's get into it. And we're not gonna start with Ashley.
But also, that's why y'all need to be having kids with people you're gonna stay with forever. Point blank in the period. Y'all be having kids for anybody. And that's the main problem.
Them was sperm donations. That's what you not.
Do you want to be? Because I can tell you the story right now. Should we wait for the story?
Wait.
We don't wait for the story because I heard a story that's alleged, but
because y'all trying to put this stuff on this man. We're on Alex and Tim, whom I forgot last time almost. So I was like, let me prioritize them. Let me put them first, and let me make sure they right.
Go ahead and get to this snooze fest quickly because they don't love each other.
Please,
they don't love each other. They're not a match for each other. It's not gonna work. They just no. And the thing is because you can tell the difference between a couple like Taylor, Garrett. Yeah, I'll say Ashley and Tyler. I'll put them in this, and I'll even put Ramses and Marissa into this, where they're having deep connections and deep conversations. Mm-hmm. Alex and Tim is very surface level. Like Tim
got into his trauma with his people,
of course. But now that we're out of the pods, like they're not relating or bonding on anything. It seems,
and that's the problem. It's I don't see anything. I didn't see anything even when they were in the pods, and that's all shade. I feel like people needs to be more aware of where they are in life, and I feel like where Tim is at and where Alex is at is two different planets. I don't even see them in the same room together. Like it really doesn't make sense. They seem like polar opposites a lot of the time. So
it just seems like they're trying to make you work for the show at this point, and like I just think that they need to just drop the act. Y'all don't like each other like that. Like, I really just don't see any real spark, actually, at all.
Yeah, me neither. Just hang it up. But they had just got into that argument because Alex was feeling sad. Tim wasn't knowing why she was feeling sad. They had an argument, and we start this episode off, and they're talking about how, oh, we feel a little better. We're going to be able to move forward. And this goes back to my situation I said with Tim. Is it a boundary or is it not a boundary? Because you said you don't tolerate somebody putting their hand over your mouth and telling you to shh. So why are you still going back with her to continue this relationship with her for us to just probably see y'all end up breaking it up anyways later on? Because clearly there's a disconnect here with the relationship. I don't even understand the point of them getting back together. It didn't even seem like they resolved anything in that conversation. They were just talking, and it's never no shade.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, we here. So that happens. They confess they still love each other. They want to move forward. And so they agree to still meet each other's families, see each other's homes, blah, 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 blah. So that's what happens this episode. They move in together in the apartments, and we see Tim meets Alex's family. Mm-hmm. So boom, they meet her family. It's literally her mom, her dad, and her brothers. All of them are there. And Tim is talking to them, I guess he's telling them how he feels about her. It's so hard because they're telling us how many days it's till the marriage. It's like 21 days. I Google it. They were only in the pods for 11 days. So I'm like, it's been 12 days and you talking to her family about this shit? Like,
yeah, like
if I was the family, I'd be like, girl, get the fuck out my face.
I would not take this shit serious at all. Like if my sister came home with this, like, I would not be approving of it. I really wouldn't. Like, marriage is, 3 weeks away, and y'all don't even like each other for
not even 3 weeks
and
away.
It's like, it's definitely like, I think Tim did really well in front of the family, but I just feel like, of course, like this is your first impression. Like you have to show up and show out. So like when he's expressing these things about what he loves about Alex to his family, it just, to me, it just doesn't feel authentic because there was this big blow up moment and we haven't really seen that many deep conversations. I don't get where the real connection is coming from.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. It's like so arbitrary. It's like if you meet someone 3 weeks ago and then you meet their family on the third week and you're talking about all the things you like, it's like you don't have much to talk about. Of course you like a lot of things because you're just not getting to know them. He didn't even know Alex's room was dirty. And we're talking to the parents. Please. You don't even know this girl doesn't have this organized, facilitated ass house like you do, and you're talking to her dad about how much you want to marry her. It's really ridiculous, honestly. So seeing this conversation, it just felt not real because yes, he probably has those feelings in that moment, but they had already gotten an argument within 2 weeks of knowing. Y'all have been dating for 2 weeks from the pods, and you already got in an argument, and you think y'all can get married? Be fucking for real.
Like
that doesn't make any sense.
The girls want to stick it out for the experience. That's what's happening. They want to stick it out for the experiment.
If you get on Love is Blind and you can't go the 38 days from the pods to the marriage without having an argument, say I don't at the altar. Both of you. Because if there's one argument between the first 38 days that was to the extent that theirs was, Tim was packing his bags and leaving.
Tim wanted to leave the experience. Like he was going to go home.
Like, boy, please. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all want. So anyways, he ends up getting to speak to the family. They all very sweet. Shout out to the fucking family members. Because if that was my sister, my brother, bringing somebody home, I would have, first of all, I would have been acting like Marissa Mama.
I was just going to say, I low-key, because I didn't like what Marissa Mama was given, but I fear I would be similar to Marissa Mama. I would be looking him up and down, very stank face, very much, who are you? What is your name? What do you do for a living? How much money do you have? How many kids do you have? How many exes do you have? Do you know her favorite color? Do you know her middle name? Do you know her last name? Like,
and I think that's what's, I do think, and even Marissa's sister was asking Ramses a lot of the right questions. I feel like it's important for the family to be at least, forward with their question asking, because if you just got a lot of yes men, or if your family is just more chill, that's the issue with Alex's family. I feel like Alex is the most outspoken person in her family. From what we saw, they was chilling. They was all there just chilling, smiling, having a good time, moving forward. And I think Alex is kind of the more spokesperson-y person for her family. If the order comes to the table wrong, Alex is the one who's like, let's get this order right. And I feel like because of that, all of her other family members, they're talking to Tim and he's just talking. And they're just like, and it's like, no, if she's really finna get married to this man, I need y'all to be spouting out the questions, mama. So I just feel like this part of the experiment is hard unless your family members are actually going to be asking the hard questions.
Right.
Because
like Marissa's mama.
Like Marissa's, because I feel like it could expose, not even, and Marissa's friends. Marissa's friends was asking a lot of the good questions too. Your friends and your network needs to be, willing to go to bat for you with these questions, because no shade, there was probably something they could have found out about Tim at that dinner to make Alex know she needs to say I don't at the wedding, because you get to asking Tim questions, he's probably going to start revealing.
And it's like that's my issue. Like the other couples, even with their issues, I feel like they know more about each other. I'm like, what do y'all even really know about each other?
What do y'all know? Nothing. So Tim asked to speak to Alex's dad alone, basically because Alex told him to. Alex literally told him, when we go in there, we're going to all get up. And he's like, who's going to get up? You or me and the dad? And he's like, oh, not my dad. You and my dad are going to stay. Me, my sister, my mama, we're going to all get up. After you ask to speak to my dad, then we'll know to get up and leave and go. And it's like, that's just unauthentic, not inauthentic. That's fine. But it's like, Tim even speaking to her dad was from Alex's request in a way. So it's like, it's just, girl, please say I don't. That needs to be the hashtag. Hashtag say I don't, because it wasn't given for me. But he ends up speaking to the dad. The dad ends up agreeing and giving his blessing because Tim seems nice. But it's like, of course Tim seems nice here. This is the first time he's meeting your daughter who's gonna marry.
Yeah, what do you think? Tim seems like a good guy. It's just like I said, I just don't think that they are for each other.
Period. And I will say, I don't like family dynamics. They're different. Like my sister, I don't necessarily know who's the right guy for my sister, so I don't think I would even be a viable person. Alex probably should be taking Tim to her friends. Like, I think that was smart that Marissa got her friends there, and someone else brought someone around their friends, or even like someone who's closer in your age. I don't know how close Alex was to her brothers, but her brothers wasn't saying nothing. Like somebody who really, really knows what is right for the person, I think is the best person. Like, I would bring someone to Lee before I would bring someone to my sister, my brother, because they're 6-7 years older than me. Like, they have a totally different perspective to what's necessary for a relationship with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Tasia in the chat act. So y'all didn't cry like I did when he met the dad. LOL, her dad seemed so sweet. The dad did seem really sweet, and I actually loved a lot of the family visits, other than Marissa's. No shade. But I can't get over how, like Pharaoh mentioned, inauthentic the moment felt, and just how good I don't think they are for each other. Like, I think that this is a great first impressions, but like that's it. Like, I think that they're still going. I feel like Alex and Tim are still going based off first impressions. Like,
yeah, it just I couldn't get past. I agree. I felt like her whole family seemed sweet, and her dad seemed really sweet, but it just felt like this isn't right. Like, even the fact that you are meeting my parents, the person who meets my parents should be someone who's not that Tim isn't special to her. It's probably a very important moment in her life. She'll probably remember this for a while. But it's like the amount of time they've spent together doesn't really equate to the level of meeting a parent. You know what I mean?
I like I said, I know for a fact, like, if I was a parent, I feel like I would be like Marissa mama. No matter how much I was like iffy about her, I just feel like I would be like that, because and what we see later in the preview, Taylor's mama is going to be the same way. It's like, I can understand how I would be like, you're getting married to someone that you just met.
Even if I was a friend, if Lee was on Love Is Blind,
literally,
and I went to a dinner with Lee and the Love Is Blind person, and it was Tim, and Tim read me this letter he wrote for me to ask the blessings for Lee, he would have finished the letter, and I'd be like, okay, so what does that have to do with what Lee is doing? What is Lee podcast about? What's Lee's favorite color? Do you know how many kids Lee wants? Do you know where Lee went to high school? Do you know where Lee went to college? Do you know what Lee's aspirations in life are? Who's Lee's favorite superhero?
Literally.
Like, you need to know a lot of shit for you to be getting married.
Shit. Like, you can read me a nice letter, but like, are you right?
I can write a nice letter to you when I just met you. Right after you wrote me the letter, I can write you a letter. Tim, I just really appreciate the letter that you wrote for my daughter. It shows that you care for her so much. The amount of time that it took you to take a part of your day to write a letter to me to ask for that's already a letter as it is. And I'm just making shit up. Boy, please get that fucking letter out of my face. I would have ripped that letter up.
Zari in the chat says they need a longer timeline for the show. And that's what we were saying in the last podcast. Like, genuinely, I feel like make this a Big Brother type experiment and make them stay in the pods for like 3 months. Like, I'm not bullshitting. Stay in the pod, or stay, if it's good, like a 3 months total process. The first month and a half, you're in the pod. The next month and a half, that's when you do honeymoon / back at homes. And then the last month, you know.
I agree. Because getting married after 4 months or 3 months, that's not that unrealistic. People do that, and people do have successful marriages, and people can get to know someone after 3 months. This is a 38-day process, bitch. That's barely a month.
And I do think even with this, you can find some successful relationships. I know, like, the girl who was on the GOAT.
Yes,
she found her partner from Love Is Blind, and they're still together.
That's true.
But I don't think they have many successful marriages. No shade. I mean, someone correct us in the chat, but I don't think like they have like 50 type successful marriages. So I just don't think that it's plausible for people to get married and stay married with this. But it's actually it's fun to watch, and I think that's why a lot of people like watching.
I wish it was like, I wish it was longer, because I wish this was more of a real experiment. Not that it's not a real experiment; it's still a real experiment. But I wish they would actually continue to grow it in a way to where it's actually the goal to get married. You know, I feel like right now the goal is for us to be entertained. But yeah, okay. As of August 2024, 9 couples from the Netflix Love Is Blind show are still married.
Okay, that's pretty good.
9 is pretty good.
That's good.
9 is of 7 seasons, for it to be 9, that is pretty good. But they said the last 2 seasons have had a decrease in the amount of people that are actually staying married. Most of these are from the earlier seasons. So from the recent seasons, there's only 1 couple. The last 2 seasons, only 1 couple is still married.
And I would imagine like the show is more popular now. People are just going for the heck of it. Like Hannah, no shade.
Yep, that's true. So I think that's kind of goes with what I'm saying. As the show progresses over time, they need to add things to make sure that the show is still staying authentic to the true goal, which is for them to get married. They should have started lengthening it by now. It's 7 seasons in. You should have started.
Someone say like nothing beats the first season, and I can see how this is the first of its kind of experiment that could lead to something. But girl, some of these people just like they down for the ride. Because
Don't
there's
put
no way
around
Monica and Steven should have been made it to DC in the apartments.
at all.
They should never even made it outside of the pods. You can't tell me she just like they just wanted to be here.
So after this, and then another thing, like I don't know what Alex's feelings are about Tim because she seems like she's okay with it, but I don't see excitement with this couple. There's
No.
other couples, it's like they get excited and they get happy and they get the little love bomby shit.
They're
And
both
that shows.
so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And I can
like,
see that
this
in
is
their just
fun.
personalities, but like there's no spark. There's simply no spark at all when they're together. Like I see that with Garrett and Taylor. I saw it with Ashley and Tyler before the kids, child. And I can even see it with Ramses and Marissa, and then it kind of got awkward with the military talk. So it's like I never saw it with them, never even in the pods. I'm like, I don't know what is attracting them to each other at all. I just know that Tim spoke a lot about wanting a sister for his family and things like that, and all of the situations with his sisters, and I get that. But once again, it's like it doesn't feel like there's anything past that, especially invested with this relationship with her.
I agree. So after this, Alex goes to Tim's.
Oh look, Lindy in the chat says season 4 is the most successful with 3 couples still married.
Oh!
No,
So
three.
is it 1 season per year? That means they've been married for 3 years.
2 per year.
Okay.
One of them.
Okay, so they've been married for like over a year at this point. That's still cool. That's really cool. Even the fact that there are 9 couples still married as of this year, that's cool.
It just feels crazy that like as soon as they're back from the honeymoon, it's 20-something days until the wedding. Like I think it should at least be like 60. You know, like 20. It just feels like it's going so fast.
Yeah, it really is. At least 40. It should be double. Both, like everything should be doubled from what it is now. At least doubled. Instead of 2 weeks in the pods, it should be 4 weeks in the pods. Instead of 20 days to marriage, it should be 40 days to marriage. Like, this is not enough time, mamas. And then also, not saying that there's like kind of some low points throughout the episodes. There's times where they're just showing them and they're kind of having a random conversation about sushi randomly and we move forward. If there was a longer amount of time, you would have more footages of arguments and relevant points of infliction.
That's why I think it should be very Big Brother style. Like you put them in an apartment equipped with cameras and make them live with each other. Like I think that would be way better. Like look here.
Yep, I agree. So she sees his gorgeous house. Loved his house.
Very nice. He says, what he said, a modern day man cave.
A modern day man cave. Now I didn't necessarily get man
together.
cave.
And he said it himself, like every place had a spot in the house, and you could tell. Like very clean. It looked like he got money, honey. Like especially in comparison to how house. Damn, kill it, Pharaoh.
Fuck.
Pharaoh been swatting at this fly all day.
It's like it's not even it's like a so tiny girl. Anyway,
I hate those type of bugs. But yeah, no, I liked his apartment. He had a little couch for his dog. He seems clean. Like he seems like he's
very well put together.
You know, he can barbecue, girl. Like this is a man of many talents. Like I do think there is like I could see him with somebody. I just don't think it's with Alex and vice versa. Because I just feel like there will be someone that can like bring him out of this shell. There could be someone that can bring her out of her shell. They just seem like two. I don't know. I just like it's two opposites, especially when you compare the houses. Because I feel like the house say a lot about you. And Alex looked like Hurricane Milton just hit it. Okay.
Please. No, I do. I appreciate Tim. And I think I appreciate that he did this experiment because I think he was genuinely ready for love. Like in the
I feel
physical.
Like he thought he was.
Right. Let me get it out because in life, the way his house is set up, the way that he has a house, the way he's organized it, the way he presents himself, the way he's make sure he don't got no kid, he has a dog. Like he's very ready for a family physically and outwardly. I do think inwardly he might need some therapy, as everyone in the world does, for him to really understand if he himself is prepared. I think because everything else around him in his physical space is prepared for a family. Like he has this big ass house and it's just him. You definitely want a family, but it's like, are you yourself as a conscious human being in your mind ready for this experiment? I don't know, but I appreciate that at least one part of his life was prepared because a lot of these people, it don't seem like nothing was ready.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, there you go. Loved his house. Very, very adorable. Also,
and that's why I said maybe he thought he wasn't really, because I just feel like even in the pods he would have searched deeper. Like it's like it feels like with them, like they both just stopped at the first person.
Yeah, it did.
And like boom, that's it.
It did feel like that. I feel, and Tim, somebody will love Tim. He's super neat in a way that it's almost too neat for me. I feel like I wouldn't like this. I wouldn't like that everywhere in the house has a particular space.
Your house is like Alex's, is what you're saying.
It wouldn't be dirty like Alex's either. I would love a neat house, but also like I don't want like a particular, and he actually cleared that up. He said I have a particular, but that doesn't mean whoever comes into my life won't be able to help decide where something else goes, and I appreciate that. But the particularness for me, that's a little too much. Like I feel like it's unrealistic to always be fully neat and clean. And we'll get that with Hannah as well. It's like there's a limit to how particular and neat and nice and clean you need to be. And I can't hit that limit. I need to be like somewhere in the middle. Okay. But I hate being dirty. It's a spectrum. Find me in the middle. Tim goes, visits Alex's house at Hurricane Milton. Looked a mess. Surprised he didn't seem upset about it.
I thought he would be very off-putting about that, because his house seems so clean. He seemed put together, and I like that he just accepted her. Like that was a nice moment. I think that was one of the most beautiful moments I've seen in their relationship. Like honestly, because I did expect him to have a problem, and he did it. And I just like that he's like, clearly this is her lifestyle. This is who she is. And if I want this to be my wife, it's something I have to deal with. And I really enjoyed that, because that girl house looked a mess. It really did. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say dirty, only because it wasn't like food.
It wasn't filthy.
Trash. It was like a lot of clothes and boxes, but it wasn't put together like his at all.
Yeah, it was just messy. It wasn't dirty, which is good. But I wouldn't want a mess either. But I feel like Tim is going to be accepting of Alex's, entering his life. But Alex always makes comments like, do you want me to clean? Because I'm not doing that. Did you want me to be the person cooking every night? I'm not cooking every night, by the way. You want me to not argue? I'm going to argue. I get down. I do argue. She doesn't seem like she's necessarily at a place in life where she's willing to compromise on who she is. And marriage is literally that. So I don't know that she's ready for that, So we'll see.
We'll see. And that's probably why they won't work out the best. But this was a cute drop for them. These are cute 3 episodes. I just feel like if they end up saying yes at the altar, it's because they're not deep enough to explore any issues within their relationship. And who knows? Maybe they could have a successful surface level marriage.
So are you leaving with hashtag say I don't, or hashtag say I do?
Say I don't. Stamp it. Say I don't. This is a say I don't from the reality kingdom.
Both of them should say I don't.
Both of them.
Okay. Next. So soon.
Ashley.
I'm gonna go on mute, y'all.
Tyler, girl. Ashley and Tyler. So let's talk about it, because once again, they was a picture perfect couple for episode 7 and 8. But he wanted to drop the motherfucking bomb in episode 9.
A bomb, baby.
A bomb off camera, mind you, that he got sperm donor to babies. And if you've been on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, people have come out exposing Tyler for him having children, him being involved in their lives. There are several pictures of him at Christmas with these children, at ball games with these children, matching with the children, holding their hands. Now, if these were sperm donor babies, I wouldn't think that you would be actively in their lives, because usually it's a sperm donor. You donate the sperm and then you go about your business.
He was a good sperm donor father.
Child. Now, this is the story I heard. Tyler had a fiance. Did Tyler and his fiance? Allegedly. This is all alleged. We are not getting sued by Tyler, because I heard Tyler getting sued. So, allegedly. Tyler and his fiance was friends with this couple. This was a lesbian couple. They wanted some children. They asked Tyler to be their donor. He did this, but he wasn't supposed to be involved in their lives. Apparently, he started messing with one of the donor mothers and actively having a relationship with this woman, and then gave her 2 children, which is why he said in the episode there's 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got with the sperm donor girl, of course, him and his fiance broke up. The lesbian couple broke up. And he was with the sperm donor mama, and that's why there's so many pictures of him with the babies actively in their lifestyle, because they was basically playing house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that broke down. I don't even know how true this story is.
Mm-hmm.
No shade, but apparently that's kind of how it happened. He
Mm-hmm.
sperm donored these babies, but then was actually messing with the woman who gave birth to them, and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
created this family unit. But that didn't last. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw apparently the girl has exposing him on Facebook and stuff like that, and she was saying stuff like, "I was told he was going on the show to support his family, and now they being
Mm-hmm.
called sperm babies on national TV."
Mm-hmm.
So clearly,
Yeah.
the people in his lifestyle do not like what he's doing. And remember, he said in the pods there are some people who may come out with some stories and things. And let me tell you, they're coming out the woodwork. And Ashley's looking crazy on motherfucking TV. So I hope she leave his ass too, because this is too much. This is too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, this too, Lindy. The fiance didn't even know he agreed to give the couple the first baby. So he was the sperm donor behind the fiance back. Then he started messing with the woman behind the fiance back. And they created this whole family that no one knew behind everybody back. And then I also heard that he owed somebody money. I don't even know how that story goes. But
We're not gonna get into the money way.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But my thing is, where there's smoke, there is fire. If this many people are coming out and saying something got to be true.
But this is the thing.
Not no sperm donor babies, because you're not in their life that actively. If you not daddy, I saw a video. Them kids was calling him daddy.
That is true. So this is the thing. This is the thing. I did see a lot of those Facebook messages from the woman who was coming out with all this information. And they were in the comments and they were like, they're so surprised because he seems like he would be a good parent father. And she did say he was. That's why we're shocked. We're surprised because he was actually a good father, very much in their lives, as the pictures showed. But they literally said when he went on the show, they knew he was going on the show and they were rooting for him as a family unit to find someone on the show. And then, of course, he stopped contact with the kids.
He
with the
wiped
family.
them from his Instagram, wiped them from his Facebook,
everywhere.
And is now calling them on TV, my sperm donor babies.
And
like I said, I saw a video with the kids are literally calling him dad, especially if these are children. They're not able to conceptualize that you're just a quote unquote sperm donor. They're thinking this man in my life is probably my father. You know what I mean? And so to fully ostracize the children and remove them from your social media and act like they don't exist, and don't even tell your future wife about them until 2 weeks before the proposal, it's absolutely insane. I just feel like there's no way Ashley should continue with this relationship because of how he went about it. Like, I'll say, even with my own beliefs, like, I think it's possible that you can enter a relationship with someone with children, but not this way. Not this way at all. He dropped this bomb on her 2 weeks before they're supposed to get married. It should have been said in the pods, and I hope that she's done with him after this.
I don't think she is going to be able to, in this situation, understand the full extent of it, because he's claiming they were just sperm donor babies. I don't think she knows he was ever in their life. From her perspective, she's probably like, "Oh, he donated."
He definitely probably lied. He definitely
he's telling her they're sperm donor babies. He lied. So from Ashley's perspective, she's probably just like, "Oh, he donated sperm to somebody. He does have kids via that way." But that's it.
Well, so now she knows the real tea. So
now she knows the real tea. So
and
this is where
TV says, I heard Ashley still married him. Yeah, I hope it's not true.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, if she marries him with this amount of information, I don't necessarily think she's understanding the full extent, because he is still calling them sperm donor babies.
This is something why I think she should leave is because this is marriage. And if he's able to hold this in for this long, what else is he holding in?
And that's
what else is he not telling you? What else is going to come out randomly? Like, this is a sign. This is a blaring red flag. And if she's ignoring it, then I can't do nothing but bless her heart, child.
Bless her heart. I'm conflicted. Because
there's no confliction. The way it was done. It's not even about the issue. Isn't him having kids? I do think that is the issue, but that's not the issue. The issue is how he held it for so long and then told her and then basically lied about it because now all the real tea is coming out.
I do agree.
But you should assume he's lying about it because why you waited so long to even tell me? Anyone who's telling a story, they're going to make themselves look like best in it. And you have to realize that. Like, of course, he's not going to tell you the truth of it all. So I just feel like she need to pack her things and go.
Well, damn, I'm a bird. Because let me tell you. I would be like, I understand why he would be hesitant to relieve that information to me. And he is still telling me before the wedding. So for me, as a bird, I
girl.
I would have been like, I think what it is I'm trying to be understanding. And I do get, if I was the one with 3 kids, and if I felt like someone might not want to have a conversation with me because of it, I personally would reveal the information because that's obviously what I should do. But I want to be understanding to people with 3 kids.
But you're literally like showing the reason why you shouldn't be understanding because you be understanding whole time he lied to you.
He did lie to me.
Those are his children. He was in their life, and now all these skeletons are coming out of the closet. If you listen to your first mind and left his ass, you wouldn't be looking crazy because now if she does marry him, she's gonna look crazy that all of this shit is coming out. But I don't want my sister looking crazy like that.
But this is the thing. Let's say all of this happens. She looks crazy, I guess, to everyone else. If she personally feels like, well, shit, I already knew all of this information, and he's a great husband to her.
That's her morals.
Because that's the thing. Just because, and this gonna sound crazy. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Just because he's lied about this and all of this stuff is coming out doesn't mean he's not going to be a great husband to her. And that's what the people who were accusing him of this was saying. He hasn't been a bad person.
What Maya Angelou say when someone shows,
but this isn't showing him he's a bad husband.
It's showing you. It's showing you that he could be a bad person, and then that's the problem.
And that might be the problem.
And that's what you're not acknowledging.
And that might be the. But the people said he was good. He was good to them.
Because think about it. If it is just sperm donor babies, why couldn't I have been told into the pods? You waited 2 weeks to tell me. You told me off camera because
he was nervous.
No, Pharaoh, please. And y'all, Pharaoh.
No.
Pharaoh is a Libra, y'all.
People can make mistakes.
What it comes down to. Libras are delusional.
Can make mistakes.
Libras are crazy in love, and this is what Pharaoh.
Humans can make mistakes. And I feel like we should be able to try to have nuances with people's mistakes when we feel like they have other positives.
No, mama. You don't omit that. You don't omit that for that long and just pretend.
It was only 10 days. That's not. But it was only 10 days. Think about that. Really think about how long it really was.
Well, look, Nas World, get your Libra brother then.
Well,
if Nas World said they're a Libra, they wouldn't sign up for the mess. So maybe it's not a Libra thing.
Me knowing all the mess, it's never giving this. I'm trying to talk from Ashley's perspective.
Lindsay says, what is the other positive? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm trying to come from Ashley's perspective.
Eat him up, chat.
I'm trying to come from Ashley's perspective because I'm not going to act like because she says I need to drag her for it. This is not wrong for her to
I wouldn't drag her.
That's all I'm trying to say. From her perspective,
she's a little dumb if she says yes. That's all I have to say.
And I don't think so. I don't think from her perspective, him coming out to him saying that he has 3 sperm donor babies that he don't talk to, that he don't know. Because after 10 days, he didn't tell her.
And that's the thing. If you believe him, you're believing a liar because all this other shit is coming out.
But how is it? But he's telling her. He's revealing the information still.
He's revealing the information 2 weeks before we get married when we've been together for 30-something days already.
We've been together 10 days. The pause is only 10 days. It's a 38-day time limit.
And I should know. I should have known on day one.
You should have known on day one.
Period. And my thing is, I'm not gonna drag her because like Jilla not said in the chat.
She don't. That's what I'm saying. She don't. I'm
not gonna drag her because she don't know everything. But now that she knows everything, by the next time we cover the next Love Is Blind season and she's still with him, she's delusional. And I have to.
But what if they're happy? Is she the delusional if they're happy?
Girl.
And that's the question. Because that doesn't
be happy with a terrible man. I mean, there's some good moments.
Well, there you go. But what if she's happy all the time? Like I don't think majority of his time is him being terrible. We saw him for the majority of this time and we liked him. So there you go.
Defend your man, girl. Defend your
I'm
man.
just saying. Oh no, it's not giving defend Tyler.
It's definitely giving defend. That's what you.
It's giving defend Ashley, because if Ashley's still married to this man and he's being a good man to her, that's good for her,
baby. And that's terrible thinking. That's terrible thinking.
Well,
just because at the end of the day, what one man gonna do to another person, they gonna do to you.
If he's being a good man to her, that's the requirement. If he's not being a good man to her,
they said he was a good man to the family unit before he left it, and they confused too. Clearly, he has good qualities, but he also has terrible ones too.
That's good though.
You done playing devil's advocate?
It's good to have good qualities, and that's all I'm saying.
Look, Sapphire. Them other women were happy too until they weren't.
But look, if Ashley want to be that girl, I got to be happy for my girl. I do. I just do. If you want to be happy,
I'm not playing with you.
But isn't everyone happy until they aren't?
Breakfast says, Pharaoh, this is how people get manipulated. Pharaoh want to be manipulated.
Ashley's not getting manipulated though. She knows the information.
Yet. And then
why y'all wishing this? Don't wish this on her.
Zari says, no, he's a liar. But no, pause. Zari says, I spend Christmas alone. That's what he said on the episode.
He did say that.
I spend Christmas alone. We're talking about kids every single day. Almost every damn conversation, they're talking about kids and what they're gonna do for their kids. And
he did do that.
Because that's the real tea. Also, and that's how you know it's some bullshit under it, because when you're a sperm donor, you don't have any contact with the kids. If this was a situation that wasn't as big on the magnitude that it is, he wouldn't even have to tell her in such a dramatic fashion. If he was actually a sperm donor, he would have donated that sperm and went about his business. That wouldn't be anything to even talk about because it's not relevant. Those kids are relevant in his life, which is why he knew he needed to bring it up in some way.
That is true.
Like, bro, no. But let's go ahead and get into these episode drop, because they was cute. They was real cute before episode 9.
Oh, okay, so at first they were talking about the kids that Tyler didn't have at the moment, and they were talking about, oh, what traditions would we have where the kids in the family with the grandmas, where the grandparents in the.
It was like we could create ornaments and.
My thing is, why would you talk about kids every day?
Every day. Every day.
Like, that's insane.
Like, I would feel like he was playing in my face, and she basically said that too. Like, why did you keep talking about kids?
Yes, that was insane. That was insane, because he's been talking about. I'm sorry, I'm thinking back. He's been talking about kids since the pod. Like day 2
he of the pod. Obsessed with children. He gonna give her children and go to the next. He gonna give her children and go to the next woman. That's what he is.
No,
he like Nick Cannon, girl.
Tyler Cannon. I don't think she's pregnant as of now. When was this filmed?
I hope not.
Because now I'm getting scared. So anyways, after this, Tyler goes and he meets Ashley's rich daddy. Okay. Period. A very rich, wealthy man. The fuck? And once again, honestly, even with these couples, like the more serious ones, well, not all of them. With this couple as well, it kind of felt like the same thing as Tim meeting old girl's daddy for me, because it's like, of course he's gonna like you. You're just being, you know, fake. Not fake, but like performative. Not performative, but like you're putting on your best
face, of course.
Your best face.
First impressions. Yeah. And that's what he's been doing all the way up until episode 9.
Yeah. So there we are. He's talking to her dad. Her dad likes him. We kind of move forward from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked her dad because he was like, you know, if she's happy, that's what it is. And I think that's with most of the family's opinion they took. It was like, if they happy, girl, I gotta let them have it, because
great parents.
As an adult, you can't tell them what to do. And I know for a fact I wouldn't tell my sister what to do, but I know, like, I would be grilling the fuck.
If you don't agree, you don't agree.
And I would be grilling the fuck out of that man.
I don't believe in attending weddings that I don't agree with. So if I didn't agree with it, I wouldn't attend the wedding, and it would probably be some, you know, issue, some turmoil, whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and sit at the wedding in full disagreement. Now, if I wasn't in full disagreement, like if it was like, okay,
so you would say I object.
I wouldn't object, but I would not go. Because if I would rather not attend than object somebody's wedding. I'm not gonna ruin your moment. Have your moment, have your wedding, just be mad that I didn't show up. But I'm not going to go to your wedding if I don't agree with you marrying this random person you met 10 days ago. And I feel like you should understand that. You met him 10 days ago, 38 days ago.
But I thought they stayed in the pod. I saw an article that said they stay in the pods for at least up to 3 weeks.
I just researched it. They said the girl from last season said they stayed in the pods for 10 days.
That's extremely too little of a days.
So either she lied or that was just that season or something.
Or maybe she got proposed to early and left earlier?
No, she said including the proposal, including to the day we all, because they do all the proposals on the same day, she said. She said really? they propose in the pods, but when they do the actual go out and propose thing, she said they do that all on the same day. So we just waited in the pods until then. And that was on the 10th day, she said.
That's way too short.
I don't remember her name. It was a blonde girl. Maybe she lied. Maybe I read the wrong thing. But yeah. Oh, Lindy says it's 10 days in the pods across all Love is Blind franchises. So it is 10 days in the pods.
Wow.
That's why I'm not going to defend him no more. But that's why I was like, he's telling her after 10 days. 10 days too long?
It's been more than 10 days because they went to the honeymoon and then
for 2 days.
And they was in DC for a minute.
Okay, they was in DC for a minute. No, they wasn't, because that was 21 days until the wedding. And it was 23 days until the wedding when they got to DC. So that was 13 days. Not too much on my man. No, let me stop.
No, because you're going to defend them, girl. You got it.
Let me be honest. Let me be honest. If Tyler knocked on my door right now and said, let's go to the bedroom.
So you just.
Oh, anyways, after this, they start talking about the kids.
Again.
The kid's name, because Tyler has a dog, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's like my stepchild."
Like, you gonna have some stepchildren for
You're gonna have more than one, 3 plus
you.
But so yes, claims it's like the stepchild. Then this is when we get to this big scene, and it was edited. I guess we didn't get to see the first part of it, the entire first part.
And we see something like that similar with Monica and Steven. It's like, why are we coming in halfway through to the drama? This is why they need to have cameras 24/7. Y'all cameramen, y'all need to be in the house and on go. Okay, y'all not paying these people? Like, we want the content. We don't want the drama halfway through. Like, come on now.
What in the comments? Oh, Breakfast said, I just know a manipulative man love to see Pharaoh walking around. This is the thing. You think I get manipulated a lot? I might be the manipulator. And that might be the issue. Maybe I'm coming from a perspective of,
oh, you defended him.
Let me
quit. Oh, you Tyler.
I ain't got no kids. And
that
I would tell somebody
that we know of.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. You don't got no kids, but you got sperm donor babies. Okay.
Them don't count. Them don't count. But anyways, we missed the whole build up to this, but we see them kind of rekindling this whole conversation. And Ashley's talking, and she's like, "This is a very big thing for you to have not told me until this moment. I just had to leave to get my space because when you told me, I was so surprised." And we're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Like, literally.
What? She's like, "I don't understand how it seems like our superpower has been communicating this whole time, but clearly that's not our superpower." It's like, what the fuck was all of that then?
Tonight, mama.
Girl. So this is when, and then she's like, 2 weeks before the wedding, and you had so many opportunities to tell me. We were just talking about this the other day. We talk about this every day. And then she says, "How many of them are there?" Or something like that. She says, "What are their genders?" And it's like, oh. And he says, 2 girls and a boy. And that is what those pictures reflected.
But he honest about that.
So okay. So after she starts asking where the people at who have you've done these things through. She needs some pictures. You haven't shown me anything. You still haven't shown me anything as of this argument. These sperm donor babies, I don't know any information about them. And it's like, not sperm donor babies.
Like, what a crazy
they're gonna come back and see this.
And it's like, she doesn't know this information yet, but like, to see so many like family photos and family videos that are being posted, it's like, this man was very active in them kids' lives, and he left all of that to come on TV and mess with you. Like, I just feel like even if she is happy with him, that shouldn't sit well in her spirit.
Yeah, something like, I don't know who Ashley is as a person, but I would love to think, now that I'm really thinking about it, I would love to think that there is no way she is still with this man right now.
Like,
Unless he revealed everything that they just exposed to her, there's no way I can even give her an explanation as to why she's still. If she just found all this shit out on social media like we did, something's not right. So I would assume if they are still together, that he actually told her more of the information before today.
I doubt it.
You think she a bird like that?
I would hope that she's in the process of leaving. I would hope that she's currently in the process of leaving. Because I can see how, I can see what you're saying. She only had limited information. She believed them
in this moment
and said yes. If in real time, right now, Ashley's at home and is seeing this information and is not leaving, there's something wrong with Ashley.
Something's wrong with Ashley. I do agree. And I would like to think that there's not something wrong with Ashley. So I would like to think she's either leaving or he had extensive details. She has to have talked to the baby mamas herself.
And the
kids, because ain't no way. But she hasn't. Because he hasn't even spoke to the kids. So something's not right. I know she's divorced. No way. Ashley said in the first episode she's one. Ashley said in the first episode she's wanting to get together and stay together no matter what. She's not gonna move a muscle.
Child.
She wanted.
Sometimes you gotta leave.
If she happy, I'm happy. I guess. So that's them. I feel like I can't handle enough of them. Let's move forward.
Marissa and Ramses.
Hold on, wait. Hashtag, should Tyler say I do or I don't to Ashley?
They both should say I don't.
Okay. Tyler should say I do. He need a good woman.
No, he needs to go home and raise them kids.
Damn.
That's what Tyler needs to do.
He can raise kids with Ashley. She want a big family. He can raise some kids with. It seems like that's what's finna happen. No shade. He's probably happy. Well, no, neither of them are raising those kids. The mama's raising those kids. Marissa and Ramses. This is a lot that they had to talk. I'm glad they started getting into these topics because I was feeling like in the pods that this is what they were lacking. All of these topics they kind of got into with in this time. I was like, y'all not really getting deep,
especially because Ramsey seems very strongly about these topics. It's like y'all should have been talking about this in the pods.
Yeah, or at least it should have been more understood. I feel like she's dropped not even hints. Like there's big indicators for her to have potentially thought these things or disagree with him on some of these topics. So I'm surprised they didn't talk about it that much before, but I don't know. So at first we start off and they're on this wonderful boat ride and Marissa's talking about how she loves boats. She was in the Navy, of course, and we kind of get a hint of the rest of the episode.
Right.
Okay? So later on we see Ramsey's like at home cooking. She's coming home from school or some shit and they're eating. And at first he starts talking about religion. He's like, okay, so for the wedding, is it giving religious? Is it giving spiritual? What is it giving at the wedding, really? And she's like, okay, I think spiritual. Like, I think spiritual. I don't know about all of the religious things. And then they start getting into more patriotism and why she might feel this way about certain things and how in the Navy she used to be very patriotic, definitely when she was in the Navy, but now she's not as patriotic as much, and etc., etc., etc.
And she was basically just explaining how she feels like the Mormon faith and was very male-centered, so that's why she wouldn't want to have that within her wedding. She seems to be distancing herself from that, from her upbringing, like with the Navy and with her Mormon faith, because of how male-centered it was and how restricted she felt. So I just feel like she's honestly just trying to be like a more free person than what she was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said it needs to be a woman person marrying them, or at least not a cis hetero. And he's like, okay, period, not a cis hetero. Like, she's kind of expressing to him how now she's moving away from all of those other ideologies. But they keep having this conversation, and it kind of gets to how she's like, well, I mean, I still find my military experience important, but when I was there, I had a whole different view on these things. I was very patriotic. I definitely agree with some of these ideologies. It's just now I don't really feel that anymore, but I'm still conflicted because I appreciated my time in the military.
And she's like, I
And
still support the troops. Like, I support the
yeah.
people. And she was basically explaining that, like, when she went to the military, she was 19, 18. Like, she didn't grasp the concept that they were, basically murdering children and other communities and, isolating them and doing all of these war crimes. Like, she didn't realize that. And he was kind of taking some jabs. Like, I mean, you didn't realize, like, the guns and the bombs and you didn't realize that's what y'all were going to go do. And she was like, I mean, it just, at the time, it wasn't what she was thinking. So, like, you could tell, like, he feels very strongly. He expresses that, like, he really doesn't like what he feels America does to the other countries in the world, how they imperialize them and take them over. And he just feels like he does not agree with the military or any of those type of things. And she kind of still has a connection with that because that was a part of her life, a big part of it.
I agree. And I feel like not even I feel like, we started to get a little more about where he's from. And he talks about how he's from Venezuela and how he was born there and that he's came to America since then. And he doesn't necessarily specifically say that has the direct impact on how he's feeling. He just kind of feels like, these are my morals. These are how I feel. These are my values. And, it's different for him versus when he goes and meets her friends who also were in the military and stuff. They kind of have just a totally different view from it. And I know in Venezuela, there's like a lot going on politically there, and has been for like 20 years or so, 10, 20 years, where there's a crisis happening. There's people who are needing to leave Venezuela. There's a lot going on politically. It's a whole crisis over there. So I definitely can see, especially for someone from Venezuela, why he would be like, it's never giving military, baby. It's never giving Navy, And I think it's really hard for him because the way he's explaining it, he's like, it's never giving this. My kids don't need to want to do this. If you go back, I'm not doing it. Because after this, he meets her friends. And when he meets her friends, clearly some of her friends have been in the military as well. They explain that as well. And they straight up ask him, and I like her friends because they're asking the real shit. This is what we need to know. They're like, look, she clearly likes the military. This is something that she appreciates. We appreciate the military. We were there. Do you feel like, hypothetically, if she were to ever go back? And she's like, of course she would never go back. But if she were ever go back, would you be able to stay with her? And he's like, no, I don't believe I would.
And I like that he's standing on it. I mean,
like,
it's based on morals. And I hate when people try to pretend, like, especially in these times, like, oh, you can have different belief systems and be friends. Like, we can disagree on things and be friends. And I agree, you can disagree on things, like whether I like pizza and you like ice cream. But if we're talking about human rights, women's rights, minorities, Black Lives Matter, things like that, stop Asian hate, like these things, those to me are not things that we can compromise on.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people do compromise on those things, and those become issues in a relationship because you're trying to ignore literal moralistic values. Like, and if he has his values and he has his views, then I applaud him for standing by them. However, these are things that should have been discussed in the pods because now you're getting touchy, and I can tell that he didn't like these conversations, but it's like, you should have been had them.
Yeah, you should have been had
Especially
them. And
when she's in the pods talking about something. Yeah, I've dated Trumpies before. I've dated this before. And
I was just going to say that.
clearly she's shown that she's someone who can, I feel like, coexist in any space. And he clearly avoids certain spaces. And it seems like she can mix and mingle within those spaces that he wants to avoid. And I can see why he wouldn't want to be with someone that is comfortable in that space. But like I said, it just should have been previously discussed.
100%. Like, I don't even understand. Like, I'm thinking from my perspective, I agree with Ramses. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who agrees to any morals that are different from mine in that type of way. But if I was in the pods and Marissa said she dated Trumpies, I would have been like, not Marissa, because the fact that you were even capable of doing that clearly shows that there's a disconnect between the way that you think morally and the way I would think morally, because I would never date a Trumpy. So there's just that on that. And I feel like because he didn't dive into those things in that moment, he wasn't really, I don't know, doing what he needed to do. You can't be asking her to marry her, and then after you asked her to marry her and now y'all are in the pod, y'all are outside of the pods, you're talking to her friends about her wanting to go back to, or her standing 10 toes down on the troops in the military, and you don't even agree with that. It's like that could have been easily understood even without getting so deep into her specific thoughts. Her making those comments about how she's dated people out of other things should have, you know,
sparked
raised some flags or something. And I feel like he wasn't really in that mode. He was too infatuated with the concept of, oh, I'm in love, and it was too da 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 da. Like, focus, baby. You're trying to marry,
and that's why, like, seeing that is such an important part of her past. I kind of wish she did pick Bowden, but based on what we saw in the episode. However, I've heard that Bowden has allegations.
Ooh,
yeah, they say SA allegations, allegedly. So, but I just felt like based off those conversations, I thought that maybe she was leaning better with him because she was talking a lot about her military experience with him, and I just felt like they clicked and vibed more. Versus Ramsey, they did give very surface level in the pods. I like that they're talking it out now, and I don't think it's going to be a big issue because it does seem like that Marissa got over those things. Like, it doesn't seem like she wants to go back. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily anything that's going to be huge, but you can tell that Ramsey felt really iffy about it a lot. Like that was a really big moment, and we see in the previews when the next drop that, you know, they got an argument coming up. So I'm interested to see if it is in connection with anything like this.
Does you spilling? She said all their conversations they should have been discussed. This, I feel like I was already feeling that way on our last episode. I was like, they didn't talk about enough at all. When we saw like Garrett and Taylor talk, they were immediately getting into the real shit. And it's like, that's, I feel like, how the successful relationships are going to, even Ashley and Tyler, who they probably shouldn't be together, but they probably are going to be successful, at least with this experiment, because they were getting into a lot of the important shit, except them kids. So yeah, I feel like Ramses and Marissa needed to get more straight to the point. And they didn't do that, and I get it, because it's like, you don't know what you're supposed to do in Love Is Blind. Like, this isn't a show. Well, I guess he could have
like Garrett and Taylor and fall in love.
Yeah, and learn people. It's like, I just feel like clearly, and it's funny because Garrett and Taylor are very analytical people. They are very particular already in their regular normal day lives. So they made this experiment. They behaved in this experiment that same way. So they were able to succeed. Ramses, he seems like a very free spirit. Marissa seems like she's looking for freedom and that free spirit. So I feel like they went into it in that way, and they didn't hit all the points they needed to hit. And if they don't succeed in this, I feel like they could have. I feel like they could have been one of the couples who could have, if they had prepared a little bit more earlier.
Yeah, like, this is a couple that I would love to see date a little bit more outside of this experience. Because I just feel like it's going by too fast.
So boom, they had that conversation, and then we see Ramses ends up meeting Marissa's family. And Lee's favorite person of this episode.
Marissa mama was on one. The first time she met him, she says, "Oh, I'm not really feeling the fashion. I don't
now,
really
Lee, are you feeling the fashion? Because you said the last episode.
And that's the thing. Maybe I don't like Marissa mama because Marissa mama is me.
Probably a horror
because I mentioned, I just feel like the fashion gives 20s, especially with the little avatar dreadlock 2 thing going down, and he's 35. And so I'm just wondering, like, does that coincide with, you know, his work ethic as a person? Like, I would just assume he would be a little bit more mature, and the way he dresses doesn't give necessarily mature. It's very fashionable, and I like it, but I'm just like, you're 35, so I would just assume it will be a little bit more mature. But I just feel like, you don't insult the man to his face. I wouldn't have said that to his face. Like,
but that's her daughter.
That's her daughter. I can't say how she feel about her daughter.
I do feel like I feel like Marissa's mom was saying rude things. I don't think I would have said anything rude. But also, there is a difference between mother's perspective on things. Like, as a mom, I don't think she cared that she was being rude to someone who's asking her daughter to marry her in 20 days. She didn't give a fuck about all that. I'm here to see what the fuck is tea. So
what the fuck is tea?
To see what the fuck is tea. So I respect her for that, but I would have been a little nicer. Like, we haven't seen the full conversation with Taylor's mom and Garrett, but I'm interested to how that goes, because from the clips she seemed a little bit more poised in a disagreeing way. She was like, it just seems a little soon, doesn't it? And it's like those. I feel like that's a nicer way.
Yeah,
Of
like
going.
with Marissa mom, like you can tell, like she didn't agree, and but she was gonna let it happen anyway. And like I think
Yeah.
that's what just her whole thing being there. It's like, look, I'm about to grill the fuck out of you. So, but like it's like I can respect it. I can definitely respect it. Like this is her daughter. This is her whole daughter. So I can definitely respect it. It's just like, damn, like she could have laid off a little bit. So I feel like Ramses is not a bad dude.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like
And he didn't even seem.
you grill Steven like this, you know?
I just felt like she felt like she kind of what you just said. She probably saw him and was like, you know, you don't look bad, but you're 35 and you're wanting to marry my daughter, and it's you wearing, you know, this
And
very
you ain't got no
flowy shirt. And then she asked him, she's like, okay, so would you graduate with for college? What was your degree? And he's like, oh, didn't graduate. But let me tell you,
all she heard, and that's all she heard. She said, okay, next. How much money do you make? Because my daughter's gonna be rich. So are you marrying her for her money? What are you here for? Are you broke?
Yeah.
And miserable.
Yeah. She asked him like what his career is going to be. And it's like he didn't really have a lot of answers for that. He didn't graduate college. He did say it was because his mom passed away at that time. So he had a reason. And then she started asking him about, okay, what is your career now? What are you going to go to do? Because Marissa has talked about not wanting to work, you know, later in life and wanting to stay at home with her kids. And it's like, first of all, I don't remember her saying that to Ramses. I kind of remember her saying the opposite. I remember in the pods, Ramses and her did talk about, you know, splitting things, but she also said she does want to work. She's like, I want to work and da 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 da. And I think she probably still does. But her mom is like later down, she did mention wanting to stay at home with her kids. And Marissa didn't disagree in this moment. She just, you know, let her say that. So she probably does. And it's like, y'all need to be clear on that because Ramses don't got no job.
What you want.
Right. So Ramses, does Ramses need to go back to school? Does Ramses need to get a job? What does he really need to do? So yeah, he kind of explains that that he doesn't have a career right now, none of that, but he's looking to do things and da 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 da. And it's like I never got a real answer from Ramses. What is Ramses
saying? Like, is Ramses just kind of gives hippie vibes? Like he kind of just go with the wind. Like I don't know. Like does he like trade stocks? Like where does he get money from? Basically, like what does he do?
Yes, she did say he could be the stay-at-home dad, and it's like. Do you really mean that? Because why is your mom saying that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and you not disagreeing with that? So I need her to be honest with herself.
Because Ramses will be staying at home.
Because he will be a stay-at-home dad. He'll accept that very much so. So boom. Then we get into like some of the issues with his ex-wife, or he explains his perspective on the situation with his ex-wife. He says they just didn't agree religiously, and it's like, okay.
He got some morals on him, baby.
And the morals are strong. So you really, really, really need to clear it up with Marissa. Do you have Trump supporter friends? I know you're
like it's a lot. Like well, I guess they discuss religion, but like have like discuss like the differences, like what don't they agree with, and like I know we don't see all of the conversations. It's just like I would hope that they really unpack a lot of things, because if you fully divorce someone over something as big as religion, then clearly you have strong values, and y'all need to decide what are you guys' values and can we live with each other's beliefs.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it needs to be way clearer than even it is now, because yes, we haven't seen every conversation, but we've only started getting these conversations after the pods.
Right.
So it's like clearly y'all aren't having enough and y'all need to be having more.
2 weeks before marriage, mama.
2 weeks before marriage. So I need them to get way more on the same page with that. Especially if he divorced his last wife because of it. Come on now, baby. You knew that was important. That's what's pissing me off about the fact that he didn't mention all that stuff in the pods. His questions to the girls in the pods should have been, what's your religion? Who do you subscribe to politically? What are your morals when it comes to Palestine? All of that. Because if those are the main things, those are your main deal breakers. Yeah. So why are they the last thing you're talking about? That makes no sense. That should have been the first thing you were talking about to every girl in the pods. And it seems like he didn't even bring it up to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are you doing? Lock in, King. This is why you know what? Let me not shade him. But anyways, so he explains the stuff with his ex-wife, and then this is when the mom suggests, she's like, Marissa goes and she goes to the bathroom, and she's talking to Ramses, and she's like, look, I think you should get a prenup. Y'all definitely need to get a prenup. So you're gonna have to sign a prenup for sure, because she's gonna be a lawyer. and she's gonna have some money, and she's gonna have things to her name. And because of that, I don't need nobody taking her stuff. I don't need none of my kids' stuff getting taken from nobody, no bum with no job. Okay. And Ramsey says he's perfectly fine with signing a prenup. Lee, would you sign a prenup?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I feel like I've watched a lot of Tyler Perry movies and plays as a kid, so I know a lot about prenup drama. I just feel like, why not? Like, if you want to make sure, like, if you're loving for love, like I can see the argument, like, oh, if you love me, you wouldn't need it. Like, I also see the argument, then why not just sign it? Like, I just feel like if you want to protect your assets, there's nothing wrong with it, because it is true that a lot of times people have gotten divorced and people's money got taken. So, but at the end of the day, the mom asking, especially when it's not money that she has yet, I'm just like, but they are about to get married in 20-something days. So I guess it's an important question. So,
yeah.
What do you feel? Would you sign a prenup?
I definitely
sign a prenup. You doing it?
I definitely sign a prenup. I'm not, fully aware of all of that prenup shit, because I might need to be asking the other person to get a prenup. And right now in my mind, I'm not thinking about none of that either. So I would sign one, but I could see a world where I also wouldn't sign one. Like, I'd be okay not signing one. Like, if something didn't get brought up, it's like, well, now you got all my businesses. Yeah, I need to sign a prenup. So anyways,
we gotta protect the reality kingdom, mama.
Right.
If you get divorced, they own half of this shit.
I definitely don't expect to have a divorce and would not hope for a divorce. And I see the like counterintuitiveness for planning for a divorce, because it's almost like you manifesting it, mamas.
Yeah.
Why plan?
And I've seen that argument before. It's like, are you basically saying that this isn't going to work? Like, this is like an insurance in case it doesn't work. And it's like, well, yeah.
Because I'm breaking up with every single person that I don't feel like this is going to last forever. So it's probably going to take me a while to find somebody I actually marry. So by the time I actually find someone, after me being very picky, like every single one of these couples, I would have broke up. I would have broke up with all of them. Maybe not Garrett and Taylor, but every other person I would have broken up by now. It wouldn't be a marriage. I would have been left this experiment. All of these people who are still in this experiment, it wouldn't be me unless I was Garrett and Taylor. And it's like, because of that, I feel confident in the fact that if I were to ever get married, it would probably be in a situation where I don't need no damn prenup. But hey, you never know. Okay. So boom. She suggests the prenup, and he says, I'm fully okay with that. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not here for her money. Period. And it's like, okay, period, King. And I don't think he's there for the money. I don't think he gives a fuck about the money. He'll go live in the hill. Like I said, he will go live out in the woods with his natural deodorants. Okay. Marissa comes out, and Marissa's like, okay, so did you give us your blessing? And she's like, are you going to sign a prenup? And Marissa's like, ooh, I'll definitely talk about that and think about that on my own accord, Mom. That's my business. Okay. And then she kind of asks again, and the mom kind of says again, if you sign the prenup, I'll give the blessing. Oh, like, I know that's right. But that's kind of how that conversation went. Very kind of awkward. All the parent conversations seem awkward to me, because it's like, how do you really feel? Is this real to you as the parent? Obviously not, right? I don't know. But anyways, we move forward. After this, Marissa and Ramses kind of talk alone about the conversation they had with the parents. And Ramses kind of makes it clear to her he don't have no problem signing a prenup. He don't care about that. And Marissa kind of seems like she doesn't care about the prenup. She's kind of like, oh, girl, please.
It's like the mama was more concerned about that.
She don't give a fuck about the prenup. So then they get into the conversation about kids. Pause. Why wasn't y'all talking about the kids?
And the fucking pods.
Right!
And I'm thinking back, what's the first conversation in the pods?
I have conversations on Bumble about kids. I need to know on these dating apps if you want kids before I start giving you my
question on the dating apps. Like, that should have been talked about in the pods for sure.
The fuck? That's name, age. Do you want kids? Do you smoke? What is your religion? That's all on Bumble profiling.
Is that easy?
That's on the Bumble profiling. Y'all didn't even talk about it, and you're engaged. Oh, please. Oh, please. If they don't succeed, it's their own fault, and not because they're not compatible. I think they could be compatible. It's the fact that they didn't really want this. Not in the way that they needed to, because you should have been talked about kids. How don't you know? So Marissa's talking, and she's like, are you ready for kids? Because I'm 32, and I don't want to be 37 having kids, and that's 5 years from now, y'all. So she got a 5-year time limit.
Mhm.
And he was like, 3 years. She's
She's
like,
like, I'm already 35.
yeah, he's 35. So he's talking about 40. Having kids. Of course he don't want kids. He want to live free like Tarzan. I could tell.
So like Tarzan, it's crazy.
So he acting like he don't really want kids until at least 3 to 5 years. And a part of me was like, is he saying this as a like insurance of the relationship? Like, I wouldn't want to have kids in a new marriage before 3 years have even passed. And I kind of see that. Like, he hasn't even been dating her for 3 years. And she talking about potentially having a kid in 3 years.
Yeah, and that makes sense too.
So I was thinking, in his perspective, he's probably like thinking that, but not wanting to really say it. I don't know what he's really thinking, but I would be thinking that. I would be thinking, well, girl, I only knew you for 15 days. So it's definitely not giving kids. But yeah, she doesn't seem to like that. She's kind of like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't mind having kids now. And it's like, now, calm down, Marissa. Marissa, slow down. Please, because what?
We're gonna have kids.
So she was like, well, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to start using condoms. And you hear the record scratch because he's like, I said I don't want kids, not that I want to use condoms.
And it's like, and this is what's wrong with men today. They walk around here, they don't want to use condoms because it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't. And they up here shooting the club up. And when the club is shot up, a baby pops out 9 months later, and then they don't want to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot want to have condomless sex and be confused when children come out. That's basic biology.
That him in the comments.
What?
Sapphire says, not Mr. Progressive Liberal Renaissance man Ramses falling right in line with the patriarchy as soon as Marissa puts condom.
Don't clock his shit.
Because you can't dog on contraceptives, but dog it on her for standing with the troops at the same time. Because you need to be online. You gotta, appreciate women's bodies. If she doesn't want to take, birth control, and you want to control the birth, you gotta wear a condom.
Period.
And he didn't want to wear a condom. And that's his problem. So yeah, I really wasn't fucking with that. I really didn't. I didn't understand it. He basically said it's uncomfortable to have condom sex. Okay, and it's uncomfortable to have babies.
Ass man.
It's uncomfortable to get pregnant. It's uncomfortable to have birth control. And then honestly, Marissa's basically like, either we're gonna have condom sex or we can just have the kids, like I said. And it's like, well, she's getting whatever she wants because she wants kids.
Right.
She doesn't have a problem with the condomless as long as she can have them kids, but he doesn't want the kids. How are you stopping both sides? You don't want the kids, but you also don't want the condoms. What do you want? To fuck with no condoms and not have kids? You want her to get on birth control so that you can get everything you want and there's no compromise.
And he's like, well, if you don't feel comfortable with it, then it's fine. But he also
complaining about it, and it's not fine. It's clearly not fine, and that's another issue. His true want in the heart of his hearts is for her to get on birth control because he doesn't want to have to sacrifice his full-on pleasure, and that's just not fair at all. And then also, you don't want to compromise about the kids. Really, you don't want the kids. We're not having the kids, and then now you don't want to compromise about the condoms. You got to compromise about something, 35-year-old man. You too old. You too old to not be compromising. Truly, honestly. So he really needs to lock in on that. I don't know what he's gonna do about that, but pick one, okay?
And then they're gonna have a kid.
And then if you're willing to get married with her, I don't see the issue in having a kid. If you're willing to get married to her in 30 days, I don't see an issue with her requesting a kid in less than 5
clearly
years.
You're not taking this serious.
Right. If you were really serious and you were really willing to marry me and you were really willing to lock in, then you would be willing to have the kids in less than 5 whole years. Because you're talking about 5 years when she's 37. Oh, please. So anyways, we move forward. That's kind of how they ended.
Yeah.
Is it giving hashtag say I don't or hashtag say I do?
I do not.
I do not.
No.
Damn. And you know what, Lee? You spilling because I would have said I do not to all of these two.
They're all terrible.
They're all terrible. I think, and I have different opinions for the different people. I'm not gonna lie. I think Ramsey should say I do not because he cares so much about all of these moralistic things. Because Marissa doesn't seem to care that much, I don't see a problem with Marissa saying I do. Ramsey has everything she needs other than having the kids, and he seems like he'll be willing to fuck her raw.
And that's the main thing. If one person is I don't, the other one needs to be I don't. Period. Period.
I know that's right. So boom. Move forward. Next we have
and can we preface this by saying Hannah does not like Nick at all. Hannah does not like that man at all. And it's like, I don't want to call her she's just judgmental and rude, but it's like she is kind of just judgmental and rude. And I get it. Nick isn't maybe as mature as you want him to be, but why are you expecting him to be something that he's not at this point? Like, this is another relationship that should just stop, because what she wants in a man, Nick is not going to be. And I think Nick is fine with whatever. He seems like most men, literally. But Hannah, she clearly wants something very specific. Like, it's low-key giving OCD.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want something that's specific, then you got to go find that. And it's not going to be Nick. She shouldn't even did this experiment. But it goes back to, she only chose to do another date with Nick because she thought Leo was going to drop her. She does not want this man. She does not like him. And she just needs to leave him.
And the issue with Hannah that I feel is that it's not just that what she wants she can't find with Nick. It's probably what she wants she can't find with anyone. Yeah. She wants a damn near robot. Like, she wants a perfect person, or at least she keeps acting like she does. And that's the thing. You're not going to get a perfect person. She knows that. She's not like fully dumb. It's just, I feel like she still sets expectations as if they're perfect, or as if they're going to do everything at the right moment, at the right time, every single day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second. And that's not going to happen. And it's like, we saw her parents kind of clock her on that. And it's like, you need to really, like, I think Hannah and everybody else, I've said it about other people, needs to go to therapy and really needs to get a better understanding of how to let go of her, control. I feel like she does want a lot of control and a lot of things to be exactly the way they should be. And that was probably why she cut off the second date with him, because she wanted everything to go right. And then she wasn't comfortable with Leo. So she got back with Nick because she wanted everything to go right. Then she got with Nick and she saw him, and then she was feeling weird because she wanted everything to go right. And then she started liking him, but then she made that 10-page list. I mean, that 10-thing list, because she wanted everything to be right. Baby, everybody has a wrong. You're not perfect. He could write a list about you. I could write a list about you. That ugly ass green shirt you got on. Take that off. Like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
No, but I also just don't want to push too much negativity on her, because I keep seeing her on social media, which, one, she looks great, by the way, but they are dragging her down.
Damn, really?
Comments. Yes, they hate Hannah.
I don't think it's that bad, y'all. I don't hate her.
I don't think anyone is that bad for me to go in their comments and drag them. I don't know her, and I'm not wishing any ill will towards her. So I'm not going to go get in her comments and drag her. I just think that's extra and lifeless. Like, please go do something else with your life. But I can, like, we're going to talk about it on this podcast. Like, I'm not going to be in her comments saying it, but we're going to talk about it in the podcast. Why it's like, Hannah, girl, she does a lot. She does a lot. And it's like I just think some of the things she's requesting, it's not terrible. It's just, you shouldn't be in this experiment with this man anymore, because he's not going to live up to what you want, period.
And no one is. You should have stayed at home. But let's get into it. They start off, and immediately Hannah is talking to Nick, and she's like, I feel like you're the type that I have to tell to, like, do the chores and, like, take out the trash and, like, take out the thing. And this is what I was telling Lee on the phone. I was like, I feel like Hannah, I don't think Nick is this perfect guy at all, but I think Hannah has an expectation of him that she's starting to assume onto him, rather than what he actually is. Like,
right, you're not mature. You're messy. You're not.
The list.
And it's like, but my thing is, why do you have to take jabs at him every conversation? Every single time we see them talk, it's her taking jabs or being shady at him. And then we see later in the episode it get brought up with her brother, and it seems like her brother even knows how she is. Her own family is saying that about her, basically. And it's like, damn, Hannah, like, and it's like, if you don't like him, so don't trash him all day, just leave him. Because there was even a moment with the girls, they went out with the girls, and she was like, oh yeah, he does this and this. It's like, she lives to complain about him, then just leave him.
But that's the issue, Lee. According to what her parents says, She does this to every boyfriend.
And
So that makes me think it's not that she doesn't like him. It's not just that she doesn't like them. I'm sure she's had a boyfriend she's actually liked, and she probably still did the same thing. The issue is internal. It is not that you don't like him. It is not that you feel this list. It is that you need to go to therapy. As do I, as do everybody else. Mampo is eating it up in the chat. Mampo says, it seems like she struggles with self-esteem, and instead of working on that, she tries to subtly belittle the people around her to make herself feel better. It's like, it's really internal, and you can tell because, honestly, her parents confirmed it for me. I wasn't sure. I thought she just didn't like him, but when they said every boyfriend you do this, Hannah, calm down, that made me know.
That's what's so funny. It's like the family seems very aware of how Hannah is, and they're like, "Look, like this is how she is."
They're like, "Well, Hannah, you do that sometimes." She's like, "I do." She's like, you do constantly belittle.
Like when the brother had the heart to heart with Nick, I'm like, "Oh my god." First of all, brother, where is your loyalty, Shannon? Don't do this to your sister on TV. But it's like he basically was taking Nick's side in a way. It was like, yeah, she kind of does that to me too. I don't understand why. And it's like, damn, she really liked this for real. Because all she do is trash him 24/7, and he kind of just takes it. And I guess it just shows how person he is too. But Nick seems like a pretty nice person. Like no shade. Like,
I think he's people pleasing, which is also an issue. He needs to work on that too. Go to therapy, because he did kind of get like back snappy with her, but like he explained, she had been doing this for the entire 3-week trial so far, and this was his first time really saying something back. And it's like, you should have been voiced like immediately. It should have been, Hannah, you're not gonna talk to me like that every day. I'll let you have it for the first 2 days.
That's one thing. Oh, that was really mean. You don't know how to do a joke, girl. You've been calling him childish, dirty, stupid, financially illiterate. And you've been calling him all types of things, and all of a sudden he don't know what humor is.
And girl, that's why, as a people pleaser myself, it is your responsibility to not randomly do that shit. Because when Nick randomly does that shit to her, it does hurt her more, because not more. It does hurt her, and she is confused because she's been doing it this whole time, and you've never communicated with her anything differently. And then randomly you did it back. So now she's like, fuck, I know me. If I ever respond back to someone who I feel like I've been taking stuff from, and the whole time I've been people pleasing them, they do have a jarred reaction to it, because it's like, where's this coming from? Right. You've been chill the whole time. You clearly didn't care the whole time. Now you all of a sudden, no, I was just being people pleasing, and that was on me. So from Nick's perspective, he does need to communicate how he feels. He's been feeling like Hannah has been talking to him crazy the whole time. Why didn't you say something to Hannah? It doesn't matter that you don't want to hurt her feeling. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You need to communicate. You're going to get married. You need to communicate to her. As soon as she starts talking to you crazy, you need to be like, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to me crazy. The communication needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or we gonna chill.
It couldn't be me, because I will be clapping back just as much
every day.
Oh, that's like you need to be told how to do chores. Oh, okay.
You do them then. The fuck? But yeah, no, that's crazy. So he should have been whacking her. No, for real. Like, she's been saying crazy shit since day one. Literally. Girl, please. And then she has a lot of audacity, some of the stuff she says, because it's like, you're not all cookies and cream and cookie cutter. Like, calm down. So anyways, Hannah goes and she visits Nick's parents. The house. She visits the house.
He lives
because he lives with his parents.
And clearly she does not like that. And so she's
But he told her that in the pods.
He did. But the thing is, like I said, and I truly feel like Hannah only did this because she just want to stay inside of the experiment. Like I said, going back, she only rescheduled the date because Leah was going to drop her and she didn't want to leave. Point blank in the period. So if you didn't like that he lived with his parents, then you shouldn't be complaining about it now. Because yes, he lives with his parents. But they go over there and she's just taking jabs the whole time. Like, ooh, bet your mama cleaned it. And he's like, well, no, I cleaned it.
I cleaned it, actually.
Like, girl.
But it's like, I don't see, for example, if my person told me they lived with their parents and I went and saw that, I would have been more impressed. Me, in my mind, living with your parents mean you have a room in the corner. He had a whole basement with a bathroom and a closet.
It was nice. It was clean. It was clean down there, not by his mama.
It was clean and he wasn't by his mama. It was spacious. So it's like, if she already knew he was living with his parents, I don't see the issue with what he showed her at all, other than the fact that she just wanted to complain as per usual. Now, Go for it.
I was gonna mention a comment that was made because Zari mentioned Nick not knowing how to make pasta later in the
Now
episode.
that was crazy.
And it's like I because like when people do things that kind of like justify the reactions, it's like ooh, because it's like maybe he is a little less mature than what than what he actually is claiming to be. Like maybe she is kind of right, but it's like still like if you don't like him, then just leave him.
And then we can talk about that because I didn't like her response to that situation because he's trying to ask her, he's asking her every single step to making pasta, which is embarrassing. He should know how to make pasta, especially if he's claiming to be a cook. But her response was more so, damn, I got to tell you every step. Damn, what the fuck? Girl, I'll just do it. And it's like, instead you could have been like, okay, babe, let me help you make this pasta. Let me teach you. So next time you can make us dinner. I'm gonna make us dinner.
Boiling noodles on the stove.
It is, but it's like everybody don't know how to do it, and he don't know how to do
it.
If,
for example, if any time the way she reacts was necessary, it's like because I low-key would have been like, you don't know how to make.
And I get that first reaction, but after that, don't just say I'll do it. That's dismissive. If we're going to get married, teach me. Hi, babe. Let me teach you how to do that. Like if my man didn't know how to make noodles, I would definitely joke and laugh and play in his face and be like, girl, how the fuck you know how to make noodles? But then I would be like, okay, let me teach you how to make noodles. And I would get my ass up and I would help him learn how to make noodles. All she did was do it herself. So now next time he doesn't know how to make pasta, she's going to be mad again when you could have taught him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, she did spill because what the fuck? Boil the water. Are you dumb? And then he has been claiming he knows how to cook.
And you don't even know how to boil noodles.
You finna piss me off. Like he would piss me the fuck off, actually. And then I would have angrily taught him how to cook the noodles. What are you talking about? So anyway, she's all up in the basement making all these fucking comments. The basement wasn't that bad, y'all. The basement was cute.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say was, I don't think she's wrong for wanting more from a husband,
right?
But she should have never allowed him to be her engaged husband if she knew he was living with his parents to begin with. Or she should have just don't agree and complain. Pick one. You either needed to agree and understood in your mind that you agree.
It's like,
shut up.
You live to complain for it. It's like she lives to get with the girls and be like, girl, he just did this, and this. And it's like, then leave.
And then the whole time she actually likes, I think she likes him a little bit. I don't think she.
I really
not even a little bit.
She wants to be in the experiment. That's it.
That's right.
I don't think she likes him.
I know that's.
I don't think she likes him in the slightest. I think she's lying to herself because she wants to stay in the camera.
Right. I genuinely think she would have did this with any boy she matched with. 100%.
Now, if he looked like if he was a Travis Kelce man,
she would have did it with Travis Kelce too.
But I think the type of man that Nick is, she can walk over him. Like I saw someone in the chat say he's a doormat. No shade, just giving doormat. If she linked with a man that wouldn't let her run over him like that, and I think
it would have been I think it would have been arguments instead of, because that's the thing. Her and Nick don't argue often. Yeah. She's just
because he allows her to talk to him like that.
He just allows it. It probably would have just been more arguments, I feel, with someone else, because I feel like she still would have tried to try somebody. They just would have checked her ass. She would have got checked talking to me.
And maybe that's what she needs. She needs somebody to be like, oh.
I think she does. I think she might need that. I think she needs someone more masculine in a way of like the way they communicate or the way they go about things. Even like, I don't think she likes that Nick doesn't take charge with, like she was kind of explaining, you know, I got to ask you to do this. I got to ask. She wants somebody who's going to take charge with everything. Like, I think she wants someone to tell her about the finances, what they're going to do with the finances, what they're like, all of that. We can get into that conversation because that's the next conversation.
But it's like, I think it goes back to, you're expecting a lot out of a man that already told you who he was. He lived at home with his mama in the basement. And do you think he knows about taxes and 401ks and paying the bills? You already knew his mama paid for his car insurance. So don't try to throw it back in his face and belittle him as a person when you already know these things.
Amen. You should have got with a man. You should have got with a man who already knew how to do all of that stuff, and you didn't, and you played in his face. That's the thing. She just wanted to be a part of the experiment. She did, because none of the qualities he has are matching up with the qualities she need. She should have gotten with someone who is all about his finances, who's all about making business, who's all about doing deals, who has a business job, all of this other stuff. Which I think Nick is like the the anti-hero version of that. I think Nick does work in a business, in a corporation, and he does dress up and go to work. He does do all those things, but all of the homey parts of that, the financials and the cleaning and the cooking, he doesn't do that part. And I think she just needs someone who does all of those other things as well. But also, she's probably still going to bring stuff up, and that's the issue. It's a lot. It's a lot here. So, anyways, she's talking to Nick, and she's talking about how often he does the chores because she asked him to take out the trash. And she's like, damn, do I got to keep asking you to take out the trash? And he's like, I took out the trash every other day. It was just this one time you asked me. I just got home. And like, he literally walked in the door, changed, came back out. She asked him to do the trash. And it's like, niggas don't be taking out the trash. So I'm not going to say he would have. But he did. From the scene we saw, he did literally just walk in the door, change, walked out.
And it's like, I hate people who are already doing things and then starts complaining. Like, he came home, she was cleaning everything, da-da-da. Like, you're in the middle of it. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Like, can I get to
it? So yes, she was complaining about that, and I don't know if it's trauma or past history with guys, because I do know that there are a lot of men out there who don't know how to wash their ass, clean anything, do anything unless you ask them. So I get that, but you can't just assume that of someone. Nick's man cave basement did not seem dirty, and he does not appear the way that a lot of those men in that category actually do, in my opinion. And I think she's kind of putting that on him because his personality seems that way. But like kind of we see in this episode, he wants to learn how to make the noodles. He doesn't expect her to just make it. He was trying to actually learn to do it. Most niggas that she's describing would not have even gotten up to put the noodles in the water, baby. I promise you. You know, so it's like, I do think like it's a issue that he doesn't know some of these things, but I do think he's way more willing to learn and actually eventually provide those for her than she's giving him credit. She kind of just acting like he doesn't even care to do these things. I don't think that's the truth. I really don't. Not from what we've seen. But yeah, apparently she vacuums every single day. How often do you vacuum?
Not every single day.
She vacuums every single day. She sweeps all the time. She does all the chores. She takes out the trash can every 2 days. And I think the issue that I'm starting to notice is she's way more cleanly than a lot of people. She says you have to dust twice a week. Like, the stuff she was saying was crazy. Not crazy, but it's not the most typical thing. Everybody does not vacuum every day. I don't know a person who vacuums every day. So I do think now I'm starting to see that her expectations are very high for even a normal person. Like, not that she's abnormal, but for the average person, this would be something that's kind of what I was trying to say. Any other man she matched with would not vacuum every day just as well. She's the only person who vacuums every day. The women probably don't even vacuum every day. So it's like she has expectations that exceed.
That's where it comes to, like, you definitely gonna have to start compromising if you're trying to find a life partner.
Yeah, because who's gonna do that? Or you need to do it. If you feel like the need to vacuum every day, you're gonna have to vacuum every day. Okay, thank you. So she starts to talk about that. She starts talking about how she's more financially literate than him. She didn't have to say that. And how she feels like, what are we gonna do about this and in the insurance, and what are you gonna do about this? And it's like, hold the fuck on.
Mm-hmm. And like, I do think those are important things, especially because they're gonna get married. So I understand it. It's just that, like, since they've gotten out of the pods, I feel like we don't see them bond or connect or fall in love with each other.
Yeah.
Like, she's complaining or now talking about bills, and it's like, damn, like, how's my day? How are you doing?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And then it also goes back to, you're expecting him to be this type of person that is worried about these things, but you know he's someone that lives at home with his mom. You know that he does, like, you already know him as a person a little bit. So it's like, I don't understand why she's expecting so much out of him. Yeah. And then getting upset when he's not providing exactly what she's expecting from him.
And then it's not a discussion she's having. She's not discussing with him what they could do financially. She's saying, so I'm more financially literate than you. Are you going to stay under your mom's insurance? That's not a discussion. If she wanted to, as a wife or as a future wife, discuss finances, the conversation would be more so, okay, babe, so what are we going to do about, finances? Like our bank account, shit like that. What do you feel like your plan is? Da 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 da. She said, I'm more financially literate than you. You don't need to have car insurance with your mom. Are you planning on still doing that? Like, what are you going to keep? Are you going to keep being under your mom? Like, you're just being rude to him. Really. You're not actually even getting the responses. You're just being rude. And I guess she's trying to be curt and straight to the point and stuff like that. But it's like, y'all aren't discussing finances. You're just throwing shit in his face. You're not discussing cleanliness. You're just throwing shit in his face. I just feel like you're going to be the type to not clean. And damn, ask me. The fuck? Gee whiz. Like, she's just not going about it in a conversational way. The conversation skills are terrible. I need her to actually ask or actually discuss. That's how you do it. Like, let him wind down. Y'all are in bed. Y'all are watching a movie. Y'all are eating dinner or something. Be happy. And then you can have a discussion normally like a normal person. You don't have him come home from work, put on his other work clothes. He's finna go back out for work. Tell him to take out the trash, come back in, and then start talking about why he has insurance with his mama. The fuck? Like, what the hell was that? That was crazy. So after this, Nick is introduced to Hannah's brother. Love her brother.
Yeah, he was funny.
He's hilarious. So he starts discussing, and he's kind of complaining at first about like the laundry. And he's like, dang, this laundry machine is hard. And it's like, oh, I hate a complainer. I hate a man who's gonna complain about chores. I do. That shit would have pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, it would have pissed me off. I'm just like Hannah sometimes, y'all. What the fuck are you talking about? It's hard to do the laundry. So anyways, it took a long time to do the laundry. He said in the morning he couldn't even do it. And Hannah was like, yeah, and in the morning I had to wake up to all the laundry right here and I had to do it. And he was like, well, that is what happens when you're unemployed.
Clock her teeth.
And Hannah was like, Hannah got gagged. He gagged the fuck out of her.
Right. And she's like, oh. And that's when she goes into like, oh, maybe you just don't know what humor is, because I feel like I say something and then you just make it into this big thing. And it's like, why are you so
you're being mean. You take it so far. You take it to the mean
like,
thing.
Girl, all he said that you was unemployed. That's a fact.
Say it out for the bitches in the back. And Nick was like, so you could be mean, but I can't. And it's like, that's exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I genuinely don't think she knows she's being mean, which is scary.
Yeah.
Because girl, watch this back. You're being mean. Okay. Real bad. But I don't think she did. But anyways, her brother was like, okay, say something nice. So they finally say something nice to each other. And it's like, this is the first night. I don't even remember what the nice things were. Oh, Nick kind of gives a list of the things he likes about her, and she kind of responds a little bit. And it's like, this is the first nice thing I've heard them say. God damn.
Like,
it's fucking crazy.
And it was prompted by the brother.
So then Nick goes, he meets Hannah's parents. Great parents. And
I like her parents.
And when I saw her parents, I was like, Hannah might be giving Regina George a little bit. Because her parents seem super, super nice in a way of like, mom, dad, switch master bedrooms with me and y'all take my room. Like, it definitely gave Hannah's a little more, forward. And her parents a little more chill, laid back. I was like, oh, this is interesting. But yeah, they were very nice and sweet. And they were sweet to Nick, and Nick was nice to them, and he brought them a gift. It seemed very, very cute. And then Nick went and he left to get like her little brother's gift that he had got for him. And when he left, Hannah was like, yeah, he cute or whatever. I like that y'all like him or whatever, but he do got some issues. Like, I don't know. And it was like, Hannah, he seems great. Like, Hannah. And she's like, yeah, he does seem great, but this. And they're like, well, you do say this about every man you have, right? You do know that, right? She's like, I mean, but yeah, there's things like, it's cute that he's nice, but there's things about him that I'm just not sure. And they were like, well, you have to let some stuff pass. You can't make everything a problem. There are things that I don't like about your father. She's like, I don't like when your father chews with his mouth open, but that doesn't mean I'm not marrying your father just because he chews with his mouth open. And it's like, that's what it is. Hannah makes every single thing a required issue. And everything is not a required issue. Some things you just allow people to do and move forward. Okay. So yeah, they clock her. She gets clocked. She kind of doesn't really seem super receptive. And then we move forward. Hannah goes, she meets Nick's parents.
Mm-hmm. She was really nice for this visit. She brought hella gifts that they enjoyed. Like, I think she made a great first impression with them. And it's like, girl, where has this Hannah been? No shade. Like,
it seemed fake because I had seen the other Hannah. So to me, I was like, oh, it seems so fake. It's like, it's almost like a monster. Like behind closed doors, like she's just treating Nick terribly, and then they have a guest over. She's like, yes, oh my god, me and Nick, and it's like, damn gift.
I know you like pineapples, and then I got you this
like,
special kind.
Who is this? You fucking monster! You were hiding this the whole time. But anyway, she was being nice, great and present. They loved her. I was a little scared. We move forward. Next. Who's next?
Oh, the I do, I don't.
Oh, hashtag. I don't. I do not. For both of them.
Yeah.
The fuck? Why are you sitting there getting walked over by her? Why are you walking over him? Go to bed. Boom.
The real lovers.
Real love. Okay.
I'm
so
searching for a real love.
This one was pretty nice, sweet, short, and simple for the most part because they're actually in love, y'all. It's not too much to say about them. Other than I love them. At first, we start off Taylor. She ends up meeting Garrett's parents, which was interesting.
Yeah, especially because we learned later in the conversation, apparently his parents say certain things that could be taken as bad. And I'm wondering, like, so did they not like her? They're just not being honest about it. I don't know. He doesn't seem to, feel bothered by anything that they're saying, but I'm curious as to what they're saying because maybe you're ignoring it, but it's actually very problematic.
I agree. Her mom, the entire visit, her face, it didn't seem super pleased, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
But they were definitely acting nice. They were being sweet to her, and she was being sweet to them, and they were listening. And Taylor and Garrett, I think they really understand that they genuinely want to get married. So the way she's speaking is very, eloquently. She's like, yeah, I mean, I have this going for me and I love this about him. And I really do want to make a great rapport with you guys and get to know you guys. And this did seem more genuine. At least Taylor's perspective on it seemed very genuine. She really wants to make a good impression on them. And even the parents, they didn't seem super just immediately accepting of it, and we see that they're not because Garrett kind of mentions it. They just seem like they were being nice and polite, and that's what they were. So I think it's better that the people in Garrett's life are questioning it, and the people in Taylor's life are questioning it. This might be the only relationship where both sides have some qualms about the situation, but that's a positive because that shows that y'all are going to need to figure those qualms out, and it's going to strengthen the relationship. So
Tasia in the chat asks, but would you move across the country for your spouse? Because I believe she wants him to move from Frederickson to San Diego, she says.
San Diego, yeah.
And that's pretty far. And it's like, girl, this is Love Island, D.C. San Diego.
Yeah. if it is a reasonable location, yes. If the location I feel like isn't somewhere where I would want to live, I would want to request for them to move with me. I'm speaking to people, I've had flings or things, or I've been talking to people and they've lived in locations where I'm like, okay, I would never move to Kalamazoo, Texas, right? So because you live in Kalamazoo, Texas, I would prefer you to move to Dallas, Texas, rather than me move to Kalamazoo, Texas. I feel like that's just more, appropriate. But if they live in San Diego, which is I feel like it's a city. I've heard, I know that there's a lot of opportunities there. I would be more willing to move to a San Diego than a Kalamazoo. Right. So it just depends on the place and it depends on the person. But shit, he gonna do it apparently.
Right, he love her. Real lovers. Come on,
real love. Lee, are you leaving?
It's the same. It really depends on the person and depends on the place, for real.
Yeah. Boom. So after this, we go and we get to see Taylor's house where she's staying at for the time, the apartment, whatever it is. I call it a cave. Sorry, because they have to go underneath a building. She's underneath. She's walking downstairs to her house.
It's in the basement area because there's a brick wall she has in there too.
Yeah. I'm where are they at? New York, but they're in DC. But yeah, that was crazy. So she went into that cave, and it was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. I thought she had a cute place. I don't know. They definitely just seemed like a good put together couple. I don't know. I just like they vibe so well with each other because the aesthetic of the home, it just seemed like a place that they already would have been living in. I don't know.
I agree.
Michaela says in the chat, have you seen his recent look? It's giving I do.
I
did see. And then she made a TikTok is that me? And it's like, girl, it's you. Because
It's
he looked
you.
good. He looked good.
She didn't she
Hair
mention in
grown
this
out.
drop something about
She
his hair?
literally mentioned in this drop, they was talking. He was like, "Oh, apparently she doesn't like my hair, so I have to get a haircut." And she was like, "I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. Like, no,
The
she
hair is
don't like
ugly.
it." They got married, and she said, "Let me fix this. Let's grow it out. Let's
Clean this up a
part
little
it.
bit.
Let's But he looks real good.
He does with the hair. I love the hair because I was struggling to figure out what it was that I wasn't fucking with. No shade with like the visuals on the face. It was the hair because the hair with the hair now it's so he's 10 across the board, and he seems so sweet and nice. Like ooh,
He does. The body is tea.
So Garrett lets Taylor know that his parents don't fuck with her like that, and she was like, "Look, I understand. I get it. This is definitely fast and da 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 da. So it is what it is. If they have to have those conversations with you, I would expect them to have those conversations."
And it's like they're both so understanding, and I just love how they have like these deeper understanding about conversations like this. Like, especially because their parents have issues, it's like they have to talk out these problems. Like these other families, I kind of wish they had more problems so that they can discuss it more in a relationship. Like, but they are both just so mature, and I love that. Like, he's not letting it affect his relationship with her, and vice versa. Like, she's not really worrying about what they're saying. It's all about him. Like, it feels like they're both focused on each other instead of any outside sources. Like, we're not talking about the insurance. We're not talking about the religion. Like, we're not like they're focused on falling in love with each other.
And then this conversation leads to Garrett kind of talking about if he does ask Taylor's dad for her hand or his hand in her marriage, whatever the fuck it is, and he doesn't necessarily immediately agree, he understands that. Like, he's understanding of the fact that why, like, somebody might not agree to this, and that's okay, and we're just gonna have to work through it. And it's like, yes, understanding, okay, period. After this, Garrett goes and meets Taylor's friends. His friends try to ask him, some of the tough questions. They're like, are you really willing to uproot your life? You seem like a very poised about your business type of man. Right. It's not giving you're gonna move all the way to San Diego. So what's tea on that? And he's like, look, honestly, I'm fucking with Taylor. Like, I'm fucking with her, and because I'm fucking with her, then I'm gonna be willing to do it. It's like, okay.
And it seems genuine. It really seems like he's being legitimate, because I feel like within the times we've seen them together, like, he actually pours that love into her. So, like, I just think they're perfect together. Like I feel like this is a relationship that can really work.
I feel like also them having this type of requirement, like the fact that he has to leave to the other side of the country, that is making it, they have to figure it out. There's no fucking around and playing around with this. Everyone else, they don't really, not every other couple has something that's like super drastic or important or a big life change that they're considering to really make them think about shit like this. And then when it comes up, like Marissa wanting kids, that's when it's like, okay, the deep rootedness of the relationship can get brought up now that you're talking about it. But boom, that was Taylor and Garrett. It's hashtag I do for me over here.
It's hashtag I do. This is the only couple that I'm saying hashtag I do. I think I think this is together. I do, because she made that TikTok, and it's like, girl, of course it's you. It's you, girl. You the one who changed this look up. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go with her mother, because her mother seems to be, asking the real questions. She was like, y'all barely know each other. So what's tea? So I'm excited for that, and I think they're gonna get through it, because they love each other. Yeah, they love each other, unless he's just some terrible person that we don't know about. Like,
I can't handle another one.
I can't either, but I don't think he had no skeletons in his closet. Like, I'm rooting for them.
You never know.
You never know, but I'm rooting for them. I'll just say that.
Okay, I'm rooting for them too. Boom. This is the last couple.
Yeah, last and certainly. Oh
Lord, I forgot.
Last and certainly least.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and it's. Never know.
Oh my God, Steven and Monica.
Boo!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Tasia, no!
Tasia says the mutt in her Nigerian sex addict king. Why is he literally obsessed with sex? Like, and he basically said that in the pod.
Both of them, but it's just him.
Or I think that she also talks about it a lot, but clearly with him, it's every single conversation. But once again, these are a bunch of red flags that should have been clocked in the pod that she ignored, because one of the first things he told her was that I am a cheater, and he tried to break it down in this bullshit ass way. Oh, well, I didn't feel like I was good enough for her, so I slid in someone's DMs with intention. Sure, that's all you did. And now you taking sleep tests randomly on a Tuesday and texting other bitches about getting pegged.
Like, this was the one where we had a list of red flags on the very first combo we had. He is a serial cheater. He voted for Trump, and he is Congolese.
And he called her a mutt.
But he called her a mutt. Girl, that was 3 red flags. He didn't give her flowers for the proposal. I remember indicating that he didn't give her flowers for the proposal. And we started this drop off with her saying, you know, in the pause, you said you were the type of, you know, you would want to give me flowers and stuff like that. And the actions, they just need to match the words. Mm-hmm. So we have this flowers storyline for the first half of this drop, right? And she's talking about how he's not getting her flowers. And her love language, like one of her love languages, top love languages, is gifts. And he's like, ooh, gifts is my last. I'm never giving a gift. It's never give a gift. So that's something they have to work out. And this is an interesting one because love languages, they always get brought up, you know? And I feel like it's hard because like I've said it before. I don't like getting touched. And when my partner is someone whose love language is physical touch, it's like, you're going to want physical touch every day. Or you're going to want to physically touch me every day. And it's like, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. And it's kind of like for Steven, his bottom one is giving gifts. He's never giving you a gift, not even for your birthday. And for Monica to want flowers every other day, it's like, that's going to be a difficult thing for him to succeed on. I don't think.
But it's like, why would you even say that in the past that you're capable of doing that? And it's like, that's the issue. Like, Steven is an example of a man that really should not have went on this show at all because he came in here promising the world, knowing he's a terrible sex addict.
Yeah. And he says that later on.
He should have went to, he should have, and that's the thing. He claimed he was in therapy for his cheating. He should need to actually be in therapy for his sex addiction.
He needs to be in therapy for both and for his racial identity crisis. Everything that's happening, he needs to go to therapy for. It's like real bad. He's another one. All these people, we haven't went to nobody who don't need therapy, but Taylor, didn't Taylor say, I'm someone who thinks everyone should be in therapy? Somebody already said that. So whoever said that, they ate that up. But Taylor and Garrett, y'all good. Everybody else, go to therapy. Boom. So she talks to him about getting her flowers. He still doesn't give her flowers. No shade. The next scene we see that he kind of has mentioned vaguely, I guess, that he's been second guessing things. So we kind of start the scene off, and Monica's calling him out in a way. And she's like, hey, like, you know, if you were feeling this type of way, I don't know why you didn't already kind of express it to me, and et cetera, et cetera. And Steven's like, well, it's not that I'm second guessing the marriage. I know I want to marry you. I just am not sure how, you know, we're going to feel. And I feel like I'm getting a little overwhelmed with, you know, all of this.
I don't think he thought he would get this far. Honestly.
He shouldn't have. He probably didn't. He'd been calling her a mutt since day one. I didn't think he thought she would have been that.
And because I just think Monica is so more concerned with just getting married that she doesn't care about anything that's coming out of his mouth. Like, honestly, if he didn't get up and leave after the whole argument about him sexting other people, I think she still would have went forward with the marriage because she seems really, really just like she's involved with wanting to be married.
Yeah, she does. Child. So she doesn't feel happy about this, of course. She was basically like, if you knew these things, you know, I would have thought you would have thought them through before coming on this show. If you knew you were going to feel these type of way about the situation. Put a pin in that, of course. After this, they kind of all conglomerate. There's like a little party that they have randomly with all the other couples. So they're there with all the other couples, and there's fireworks. And she goes looking at the fireworks, and she's like, Steven, come look at the fireworks. And he doesn't go look at the fireworks with her. He's busy talking to Garrett. So him and Garrett are talking. He doesn't go see the fireworks. She watches the whole show alone. And then she comes back and she's like, oh, that was so romantic. Like, loved the fireworks show. You know, didn't you love it? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I was just talking to Garrett. And she's clearly upset about that. And she's giving him a hard time. And he's trying to like, are you good? Are you upset? Da, da, da. And she's not really communicating immediately that she's actually upset about it. She's lying. So they're having a lot of tiffles and tuffles here and there for sure.
Because they do not like each other. Like, he likes sex and she likes the ring on her finger.
Yeah. I do agree. So after this, Steven ends up taking her to this flower workshop because she's asked him to give her flowers 35 times. And he's like, look, I can't just give her flowers now. I got to do something a little bit more, which I agree. He ate that up. He ate that one thing up. And he took her to this flowers workshop. She loved it so much. Da, 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 da.
Oh, also, but that was also a weird moment at the party, wasn't it? When he was talking to, was it Taylor? And he was talking to, he was just making like these sexual jokes. And it was just like, what are you talking about? Like, and he continues to go on these random rants about nothing, but he was doing it again about people being in his DMs, like wanting to suck his dick, and like he's so explicit about the sexual things too. It's like, why are you having these conversations in public?
Literally, why are you having these conversations at all, even in private? He's so overly concerned with sex. Yeah. Is that really an addiction? Like, is that a real thing?
Definitely addiction, and a lot of men have it.
That's scary. I just thought of so many things at the same time. He's probably doing a lot.
Mm-hmm. He's getting pegged for sure. That's why he asked her about it, because
he might be getting the real thing.
Oh,
I've met some sex addicts before. They're blowing up my phone right now. I'm busy. So, anyways, after that, they're back at home, and they apparently haven't had as much sex because he has expressed these, concerns about the wedding. Monica hasn't been feeling it as much, and they are starting to discuss this. Of course, this is a big issue because all Steven wants to do is fuck like a fucking rabbit. Mm-hmm. So he's very concerned. Okay. And he when they get into these conversations, it's like they're talking about something important, and then it kind of travels to a general conversation. So at first they're talking about how they haven't had sex, and then the conversation kind of spreads, and they just start talking normally. And then the conversation goes to Steven, and he ends up saying, and it's literally random when he says this. It has damn near nothing to do with the conversation. And he's like, yeah, I mean, giving birth for a woman is like the closest thing to a common cold for a man. Like women don't really go through much until they're giving birth, and that's like barely.
I was like, what?
And she literally said, are you okay? What did she say? She like literally was like, are you good? Because what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
And then he's talking about I don't need any sex. I'll just, stick it in mac and cheese, or just, like it's always something sexual. It's like so overtly, and it's like he makes a joke out of it, but it's like, you're being real.
And what are these rants coming from? Is it withdrawal? He's going through withdrawal from sex, so he has to go on these coke rants. What are you doing? Like,
that's what are you doing?
Like, I need you to lock in. What did we say about everybody else? Therapy.
Yeah, he definitely needs it.
Psychotherapy. Okay. So, anyways, after this, girl,
this is where it really gets crazy because
what the fuck happened? We come in and we're in the middle of a situation, and we don't know what the fuck is happening, but we know Monica is super sad, and she's talking to Taylor, and Monica, and they're talking vaguely, and she's like, damn, I don't know how this happened. And Taylor's like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And then Taylor starts explaining. She's like, yeah, it was so weird when Steven was talking about all this stuff, and at the party he was making all of these weird comments and da 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 da. And then Monica was like, but I just didn't expect him to be actually doing this stuff, because he said he took a sleep test at night. And it's like, where are we at? Hold on. Y'all are talking about just random words. So apparently, Steven had a sleep test last night with the doctor's office. So he had to go do a sleep test. And it has came out that during that sleep test and today, he has been texting another person, not woman confirmed, about
different
fetishes. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, wait, pause. Didn't earlier Monica, when they were talking about sex, she was like, you got to chill it on the butt play. Did I mishear that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And didn't I remember on the first drop, I said, he wants somebody to play in that ass because he keeps poking it out and shit. and she confirmed, like, he is really into the butt stuff. And it's like, you might need somebody else. season. Like he might need different, types of a different type of partner, considering the things he's wanting.
But this is when it really gets crazy because basically he comes into the room and instead of like trying to argue it or anything like that, he's immediately just like, you know, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. I was drunk at a sleep test. And it's like, you were drunk
At a sleep test.
at a sleep test?
Oh, please.
And you were just texting, and you weren't he wasn't texting her today, yet there are text messages today.
They just, I don't know where they came. You're right.
You're right. No, you're right.
And it's like, and Monica says it. She's like, I know I'm right. Stop saying that. I know I'm right. The fuck? Actually, tell me something. What's going on?
And it's like,
were you actually at a sleep test?
Like, this is not his first rodeo. He's been called out for cheating before. He just knows to say, I'm right, and leave.
Yeah, and that's what he did.
You're right, and leave, and that's it.
And that's what he did. Will she come back to him? You don't think so?
I think she's done. Especially like, and someone said in the chat too, when he asked for the Venmo,
Oh my god,
it's like, okay.
Oh my god. But no, literally, because he's trying to explain, or he explains it. He says, you're right. He doesn't even explain. He says, you're right. And he's talking about how he's going to leave. And she tells him, because of all of this carrying your weight the last couple of days, can you go ahead and Venmo me that money? Actually, I would love for you to just take your phone out right now and go ahead and send it to me right now as we speak, please.
And it's like, so was she basically paying for everything?
Yeah, he's a bum. He's apparently a bum. Like, he hasn't been able to sustain himself. He's unemployed.
So he's a sex addict, addicted to cheating, probably gay. It's just a lot.
Unemployed. So it's a no for me. So boom. He Venmos her and leaves. Peace out. Hey, and then we see Taylor.
Like, I shouldn't have been on the show. Like, I shouldn't have been doing this. Like,
and she was like, "How fucking selfish is that of you? Because you had me here." Now, I'm sorry, Monica. I'm not victim blaming, but girl, you had yourself here.
You did.
Didn't nobody tell you to link up with the man who's a Trump supporter, who's half Congolese, and is a serial cheater? Who don't got a job.
You keep saying the half Congolese part like that's a problem. What's that?
Who called you a mutt while being half Congolese? and is a serial cheater who want butt play and you don't like butt play. Girl, you stayed here yourself. When do we take accountability?
Red flag after red flag after red flag. It was a red flag, a maroon flag, a crimson flag, bitch, a burgundy flag. She ignored every color, blue, green, orange. Like, bitch got every flag on the play and ignored them all.
And then now you're mad. Like, honestly, a part of me, I don't hold that much sympathy knowing all that I know. Like, but Taylor and Garrett were comforting her. They seem like wonderful people. Like, besides them being in a relationship, you see what happens to good people? Good things. So boom, they comfort her, and then we kind of leave that on that, and
they're not in episode 9, so I'm assuming we're done with them. They're not gonna continue with the experiment, and it's like they should have never got this far. Like I said, like so many red flags. Like it was very clear that she did not like him like that. I think she was just more obsessed with the idea of getting married. Like she was going to ignore everything to get to that altar. It seemed.
She was. So here we are. Thank God they're done. There is no question about I do or I don't because they're out. I'm assuming.
Tasia says Steven is crashing out on social media.
Really?
I need to find that tea.
I need to find that too. Why are you crashing out?
What can you? There's nothing that he can say. You're a terrible person, and we all knew it. We knew it since the pods. Well, some of us knew it. Monica didn't.
I could just choose one red flag of the many. I don't even have to go through all of them. Fuck the cheating. But yeah, here we are. They're not getting married. They're gone. Chop.
So now we're down to 5.
Just 5. Now, of the 5, we said last time, I think we said Ashley and Tyler and Garrett and Taylor were going to get married. But now that new information has occurred. Who would you say are the ones who are getting married, and then who would you say are
The
the
only
least,
ones who
most likely,
should,
the least likely?
the only ones who should be getting married is Garrett and Taylor. Period. Everyone
Okay.
else, no, it's a chop. I do think that Ashley and Tyler might still get married, and I can
think so.
see, I can honestly see Ramses and Marissa getting married.
Me too.
But
Me
I
too.
don't think Nick and Hannah will. I don't think Alex and Tim will, and I don't think. Oh, is it?
I think Alex and Tim will.
That would
Out
be
of
crazy.
stupidity. Oh wait, no. Isn't the preview? Aren't they arguing again on the preview? Or am I tripping?
I don't recall them arguing. I remember Ramses and Marissa arguing.
Maybe. Oh, it was Ramses and Marissa who I was thinking of. I could see Alex and Tim not, because I feel like they should know by now that they're not compatible, and they still don't. So part of me is like, are you gonna get all the way to the altar, say yes, and then get?
I just
break
feel
up
like if
the-
they continue to be surface level up until then, it's possible, which is also very possible that they will stay surface level until then.
Yeah, and y'all just gonna break up the week after. That's gonna be so stupid. They would have wasted their own time for real. So we'll see. It should only be one I do at the altar, on the finale. So we will be seeing who says I do. I feel like they all finna say it. I'm getting scared, girl. We gonna have to see. We'll be back next week for the next drop of Love is Blind. So definitely tune into that next week or whatever. And tonight we will be doing our finale recap of Big Brother. So definitely tune into our Big Brother coverage.
Oh, yeah, it's the finale starts in 30 minutes, y'all.
30 minutes, y'all. So go ahead and slide over to Big Brother if you want to, I guess, and then come to our finale recap. Okay, period. We're also covering Survivor, so definitely get into our Survivor coverage, and we're also covering the challenge, so definitely get into the challenge coverage or whatever. If you guys like scripted shows, regular TV shows, regular movies, I do have a podcast that I have launched called The Scripted Kingdom. The link is in the description, or you can go to YouTube or where you get your podcast and type in The Scripted Kingdom and check out my recaps, reviews, reactions to a bunch of different movies and shows that I will be doing on that podcast if you would like or whatever. And that's all we got for you right now. So thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, y'all. We out. Bye.
Period.